Shabbat shalom, family. All right. We're going to do this thing, y'all. We got a real big conversation in the Bruins today. We got a real big conversation. We about to cut it up. We about to bring it forward. First, I got to make this acknowledgement. We wasn't late today. We actually got started 1 o'clock like we supposed to, but we had a little bit of complications. I had to go out and delete the first editing, the first production of it, and then redo it. I'm very careful about trying to set a perfect example in how we, as the house of Yisrael, have to be mindful of time. If we say we're going to do something at a certain time, that's the time we got to do it, if the Creator allows. If we can't make it at a certain time, then we have to make that thing known. But we don't have any problems so far. Thus far, we have an unblemished record of getting started on a Shabbat day on the days that we were having Shabbat services. So I got to plug this microphone in so y'all can hear real good to the people in the room, because we get ready to get it in. Just give me 1 second, please. Over the week, I presented a lesson, a post on Facebook. Yeah, and this post that I put up sparked a lot of controversy in the minds of Israel. So what I proposed today was that we would have that discussion today live on Facebook. And we would have that talk so that we could finally, once and for all, share the correct understanding so that people will understand what's behind the teachings of the post. Because obviously what happens is a lot of people, they see a thing or they read a thing, but they fully and truly don't understand that thing. They really don't understand what's going on. This post that we're talking about today, I'll get to you in 1 second. May the Most High guide my mind, my spirit, my body, my language, and my speech as I approach unto you, his people. May the Most High be praised forever and forever. The thing that was behind the post went way over a lot of people's minds. A lot of sisters came back, even some brothers came back with some sarcasm. No man wanted his woman to do nothing like that. This post was a picture of a sister at the foot of her man. I guess it was her husband. I don't know. I didn't create it. But the spirit that I brought it forward was, do you possess the type of spirit that would allow you to do this? Or do you possess this type of spirit? That was the question posed to the women, that do they have this type of ability to do such a thing? And I got so many different responses in reference to that post. Don't no man require that of his woman. She ain't no slave. I don't think anybody teach that a woman ain't a slave more than I do. I don't know nobody who do. And I truly, firmly, in my spirit, my essence, believe that a woman is not a slave. She shouldn't be treated like a slave. She shouldn't be made to feel like a slave. We got so many different negative responses that the post achieved its mission. As far as I'm concerned, the post achieved its mission. And the mission was exactly what the caption said. Do you possess this type of spirit? It revealed the spirituality, the spirit of a lot of our sisters today. I had maybe about 3 or 4 sisters that came through and said yes. Just answer the question simply, yes, I possess this type of spirit. One sister went into detail and she said, I did this and I do this frequently for my husband. I have no problem with that. You know, I had a whole bunch of them say, this ain't got nothing to do with scriptures. This isn't what this is about, Prince. Get back to to teaching people how to save their lives. This is about saving lives. This has everything to do with scriptures. I don't waste my time posting things that is not going to bring about salvation for our people. I don't deal with those things. Even in my jokes, when I put up a joke and let you know this is just for laughs, it has a deeper meaning in it, but you have to look. You have to be serious about trying to understand what that deeper meaning is. A lot of people have no idea the mission that Prince is on right now. I get a lot of people saying a lot of nasty things about me. Teach, Prince, teach. Don't do nothing else, just teach. You know, get back to teaching the laws of the Most High. The problem is that I haven't stopped. Every comment, every response, every post, everything I do is about teaching the laws of the Most High unto his people. So today we're going to get it in. I say Shabbat Shalom to everybody in the room. Shabbat Shalom Lekim. May the Most High be with you. May the Most High guide you, protect you, and bless you. Just give me 1 second. Let me make sure that the air is on here because it's kind of hot down here. Yeah, certain people like to cut the air off. Telling certain people leave my air alone. I'll be hot up in here. I'm cold. Ain't no problem. Let's get it in, y'all. All right. The question that comes on the floor, and I'd like for y'all to run it around a little bit before we even get started. How should a woman address her husband? Anybody got a response? Does anybody want to give me an idea or understanding how should a woman address her husband? Ishai, you want to say something?
No, I'm good.
No? All right, let me start it off like this.
Hold on.
Go ahead. You got it.
I think in every case, it's different. You know, you might want to be called a dumb. Somebody else might want to be called Elder Youngboy. I don't know. Whatever the husband wants to be called. You know, you can call me Smalls. You know, whatever. But just don't call me, be disrespectful. You understand what I'm saying? Like I might, you know, depend on where we at with. Just don't call me by my complete slave name because now you're being disrespectful. But anything else, we're good. As long as it's not disrespectful. Because you two, you and your wife, might have your own personal connection. You understand what I'm saying? Like if I'm around you and your wife and she calls you Abogado, I'm like, oh, slow down, you know? But that's your thing.
It's your thing.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right. So you don't think nothing wrong with that as long as it's their thing?
Long as it's whatever your wife feels comfortable and whatever you two have.
What if the wife calls her husband God? Got a problem with that?
What, Elohim or?
What if she say God?
Nah, I got a problem.
If a wife calls her husband God, is that a problem?
Yeah.
Wait, whoa. It's only one creator.
Yeah.
So
But
that's a
everything
problem.
else
I
is...
asked that question intentionally because
That's a
God
problem. Well,
ain't got nothing to do with it.
No, yeah, God is...
So-
Right, yeah, because you could
If
be...
God,
right.
G-O-D, has nothing to do with it.
Right, if you're on that level of teaching where you understand that God means nothing because that's a separate deity, because
Right.
in my earlier development, I would be offended if a rapper said they the God of rap or whatever. I'm like, but back then, but once I understood what God was, I'm like, yo, call yourself whatever. Just don't call yourself, I'm not even gonna mention the creator of anything. You feel what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. But whatever you and your wife, back to the original thing, whatever you and your wife call each other, you know, whatever your wife calls you and whatever you're comfortable with her calling you, rock out.
What about you, Art? What do you think? How should a wife address her husband?
I gotta land with what he said. I mean,
What he said?
as far as whatever you're comfortable with her calling you, and as long as she ain't calling you your government name, and as long as you're comfortable with that, and she has no problem with calling you that,
So if my wife called me by my government name, that's a problem, huh? Shabbat Shalom, Kev. Shabbat shalom, Rose.
I would say so. I would think it would be disrespectful.
Think it'd be disrespectful.
If anything, she should
Not
call
to be
you.
allowed to.
I think she should call you
Shabbat shalom now.
your Hebrew name if she's going to say your name is.
So my name is Jesse. My wife called me Jesse. Is that disrespectful?
And I wouldn't like that.
Nobody would call me my government.
I wouldn't like it.
I got
like
so many
that.
nicknames, but listen,
Listen.
in business,
Yes, it
I've said, hey, we're just talking stuff on the street. I say, hey, I want you to go see my brother down there by the water ice stand. I got some work for you. They might loosely use your government name as a sign of disrespect.
Right.
And I'll check them. I'll be like, who? They say your initials or whatever. I'm like, that's not the brother's name. We're not even using that name. But they'll use it as a sign of,
Respect.
because they knew you for 30 years and they use whatever your name is, they use that name. I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
But they won't say it to me though, will they?
Have you heard your government? When the last time you heard your government name in conversation?
They don't.
Exactly.
They won't.
That's it.
And there's a reason why.
Your original
They'll
government name.
say what they want.
So what I'm saying is, as long as your wife ain't calling you that, then we good.
Okay. What do you think? You done?
Yeah, I'm done. I think
you
the same
done?
thing.
What do you think?
Um,
How should a wife approach her husband? How should she address him? And there's a reason why I'm bringing this up, and we'll get into that as soon as we're done. Speak on, please.
I mean, honestly, I think it's just respectfully, and then it's how they have communicated of how she will call him, because I think it's a level of comfort for a woman. How deep she feels for a man is how deep she will address him in public.
Say that again. That is key. Say that again, please. That's important.
I say how deep a woman feels for a man, her husband, is how she will address him in public.
Do you know what that means? How deep a woman feels for her man? That means really, in a nutshell, the type of respect she has for her man.
Right.
It's how she's willing to address him in public.
Right.
That's deep. You want to say anything else? Because we listen. You got the floor, sis. Drop the jewels. Anything else you want to say?
I mean, that's pretty much it. I think that shows the level of admiration and respect she has for her husband. And then it also teaches others.
That's the key. Say it again. What's that part right there? It teaches others what?
Respect.
How to conduct themselves.
Yeah.
Respect. That's right. See, today's lesson is all about that. Because a lot of us don't know how to respect our man. When you got a man. I'm not saying because you got a male, you got a man. I'm not saying that.
True.
Right.
Let's get it right.
True.
There's a difference between a male and a man.
Okay.
And you know what you got. If your woman thinks you a man, right? How's she gonna address you? What you say? The way they respect you is how they do it out in public.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, that's how it's
It's
gonna be.
like the deeper I feel like some people make fun of how I address you in public. And I mean, it doesn't offend me, but because I know that he deserves that type of respect no matter what. No matter if people don't understand it or not, it's not about them anyway. It's about me and how I respect him as a man and as the head of the house. So, I think a woman truly, when she truly shows that in public, people around see it. And even if they make fun of it, they go back and talk about it in a good way. They just make fun of it because they're uncomfortable at the time.
That's
because
right.
they don't have it, or because they're still striving. Their woman maybe even still, she's striving to get to know herself. So a lot of times it's how the woman feels inside too. It's not even just about how the man is treating her. Sometimes if a woman is not confident in herself, she's not even going to treat her husband.
Yo, somebody got married, that sister.
And
Somebody got married, huh? She ain't no joke.
We needed her up here today. That's
Oh,
that,
man,
that's that
go
woman
ahead,
you.
for
We
reason
needed that
today.
up here today.
Shakia.
You see her question?
Daya House. Shabbat Shalom. Shakir Daya.
Danya Owls.
Dania Owls asks a question. Please forgive me for butchering your name a little bit on the back. It's just a little difficult to pronounce. And I speak like 3 languages, but that one
And
there
it's
got a
probably
little
more like Daniels.
Yeah.
Because they're using just the O's.
Oh, maybe the S ain't supposed to be on there, huh? Oh yeah, I guess
No,
it
it
is.
is.
All right, whatever.
They just
All right, here we go. Shabbat Shalom, one more. Shabbat Shalom, Ahava. Getting to your question, Shakir. Shabbat Shalom to you. Should a woman bow down to her husband as if the Almighty is near, knowing it is a man that fears the Most High? We're going to touch on that tonight, today. Yonaya Israel, Shabbat Shalom. We're going to get on this because, and I'm going to present scriptures to verify exactly her question. What it is that she says. Should a woman bow down to her husband as if the Most High is near? What you got to say about that? You got something to say?
No, I mean my face. I don't want us to misconstrue. I don't even know if I use that word right because I'm not the smartest brother in Israel. But please, the brothers, us from ancient times when we were sort of in our right mind and we were men of renown, commanded the respect that you're going to show.
Through our actions, right?
Through our actions and through our deeds.
That's right.
Yeah.
Let me give you for a perfect example. What brothers, any brother you know, this is from how back in the day we used to do. Back in our righteous day, whenever there was a divorce or something happened, the man would have the children. It was his property. I mean, not property. That's a wrong word to say, but
It's true.
they belong to the man, right? In today's society, in our unrighteous, not right mind, boom, the women have the children.
That depends on the man.
Depends on the man because
All men are not like that.
all men are not like that. But 97% of the time, it's a situation where the woman has. So we're not in our total essence of a right man or even a man that is not obligated to work for the white man, like I always say, or have their own situation or even their own home. Some men are married, living with somebody else. We're not living righteously as men, in my opinion, to get the bow down, even the foot rub or the occasional. If that's what y'all want to do, cool. But when we're in our total righteous sense, then we can start doing that. But it starts with how you call back with what you said, yes. Because you got to differentiate. Your man is on the highest level of a man to you. Because he does, I see what he did. You feel what I'm saying? You can't, I come in, you start calling me the same name. No, because I'm not buying the boots. You see what I'm saying? Or, hey, you looking good. Putting you in the position that he put you in. So you got to differentiate this man from any other man. You understand what I'm saying? And don't call no other man anything near what you call him. So I'm not making fun of anything you say to him. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you call it, oh God, listen, that's y'all thing, cool. I don't get that in my circles that I run in with these young ladies I do. I'm in the wrong side. We proved that point last week.
Yeah,
But what I'm saying, this is no about me. Let's get back to the creative business. But I'm not doing no funny business with these men expecting ancient treatment and they ain't rocking ancient, they ain't paying ancient bills.
Right.
And they ain't providing ancient,
You're going to
food.
enjoy this class.
Oh, they want ancient
They
treatment. But
they want
I feel
ancient
like
treatment.
westernized.
You not getting ancient treatment, buddy, unless you're doing ancient duties. You
Well,
know
like,
what I'm saying?
like she said earlier, she called him what she called him because she respects him because he does what he does.
He does what he
You
does.
shouldn't expect to be
called
in a higher.
If you go.
Talk like that if you just acting like a regular guy out here. You just
He
shouldn't be
proved
doing
to
that.
you what he can do and what he will do. So next week he slips on a banana peel, and for 1 week he can't provide for you the way he should. Keep that same respect because the next week he gonna be back riding a tractor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what happens with a lot of women.
Yeah.
This week you ride, and then next week I slip on a banana peel.
Down.
Then the following 3 weeks you talking to me like, yo, Smiggity Smalls, what you doing? No, keep me on my same level the whole time because it might be a hiccup 1 week. Don't lose I'm going too far. Don't lose the respect.
Right.
Don't be conditionally losing respect for your husband.
But then again, that goes to dealing with a righteous woman. Because if you're dealing with a righteous woman and
She
you
won't
in
lose
your
that
righteous
respect.
state,
What's
if
what
you do
just said, what
slip,
kind of woman has it be?
a righteous woman.
No,
if you slip with a righteous woman, listen to me, hear me out. You slip with a righteous woman, but you already done showed what type of guy you are, what type of man you are. Once you slip, she know where you at with yours.
Yeah.
So she's not going to think of you of any less because she's a righteous woman. And she knows you're going to get back on your track of what you got to do.
But
Now,
also, okay.
go ahead and say this.
I was gonna say also, you have righteous women who do get involved with unrighteous men, and a lot of men in this walk of life, whether they up high or down low, and I don't mean down low on the funny side. I'm talking about they don't have the financial, the mental, or even the spiritual capacity to take on a wife, but they have a wife. They still use the word, or they still use the law, statutes, and commandments that the Creator left for us to demand or command that their wife respect them in the same reverence as it would be as a man who takes care of them. And a lot of sisters who are striving to be righteous and are righteous fall into these traps
I agree.
of doing that. And then when they do get with unrighteous men, and then when they get with a righteous man, a lot of times they don't know what to do because a lot of times we've been abused by a so-called righteous man, and then when a true righteous man comes around, it's like now we have to rebuild ourselves.
That's
You know what I
it.
mean? To get to that place again.
What I would
But-
say to that is, though, you got to show and prove to your woman. You know what I mean? You can't just tell your woman, I'm righteous, I do this and do that.
Right.
You got to walk what you talk.
Yes.
If you going to talk that talk, you got to walk it.
And all this is let's think this is for a fact. Get this out the way. This is my opinion. Y'all can agree or not agree. But a unrighteous woman is a byproduct of an unrighteous man.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. Because it's just something that comes out of it.
I
Yeah.
think it's the reverse.
No, I think it's no.
You think it's the
Go ahead.
Let me be real.
No, go ahead.
Here's the mistake that we make as men today. We think we running things. A man ain't running nothing. He ain't. We think we are, but we not. You know who determines the flow and the spirit within the household? Your wife.
Okay, I can go with
A lot of men
that.
don't understand that. I was wise enough to catch that. That's why you treat a woman a certain way. And if she is a certain way, she's going to usher in that righteousness. She's going to keep you on point. Because the moment you fall, she's going to know how to speak to your soul to make you say, you know what? Let me get myself back in order. A wise woman who knows herself, who knows her strength, she's going to know how to do that. That wise woman that I'm talking about, she ain't got no problem bowing down to her husband, kissing his feet, cupping his legs, saying, you are my master, you are my Lord. Now! Oh no! The sisters, they just shook just now when I said that. Hey, ain't happening. You know why it's not happening? The reason why it's not happening in today's world with the modern Hebrew Israelites, is because our minds have just went through 400 years of oppression. Prior to that, we went through 100 years of oppression. We have been oppressed and oppressed people in so many different captivities for a very long time. We don't have our original mind with us. Most of us don't even have a spiritual mind within us. We still looking at the Bible as a religious book.
Okay.
We see it and we think it's about religion. And the Torah, the Tanakh, has nothing to do with religion.
Okay.
But we see it as a book of religion. And it's a problem. So when you speak to a woman about today's woman, not all women, but the average today's woman, about how an ancient Israelite woman would conduct herself, they lost. Oh no, nigga, you crazy. I ain't doing nothing like that. That was the intention of this post. The post that I put up was to let the people see how far from where our spirits are supposed to be to where they are. There's a sister in our group. I love this sister, man. She doesn't even know that I admire this much. She's married to one of the brothers. The brother's name is Shar. One of the sisters that you speak to.
Yeah, Shamira.
Shamira, that's her name.
Shamira.
She gets on the book And I haven't seen anything that she was afraid to post about how she feels about her king.
Okay.
Now, I don't need to mention you because it will be out of order for me to put myself up on that level. So I'm going to mention a situation that I can speak about that's familiar. But now, what needs to take place is 10 years from now, as my brother said, she has to maintain that same level of respect for her man. But what must take place is her man must earn it.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
He must be able to feel those shoes and that position to make her still have those googly eyes toward him 10, 20, 30 years from now.
Okay.
That falls back to what you were saying, Yeshai. You know, she has to be able to, if he slip and fall, she still must maintain that same position, that same discipline. And the only way that you can capture that and show that type of humility is if the Most High has a spirit on you. The average Israelite sister don't have that spirit. They don't possess that spirit. They think that if I call my man, if my man asks me to do something and I cook and clean the house, that I possess that spirit, but you don't. Right. That's not what that spirit is about. You have a portion of that spirit. You know what shows when you possess that spirit? When there is no reason for you to do anything and you're doing those types of things. Let's say your man come home from work and he's tired. Now, sister, don't try to flip the script and say, but they supposed to do this for us too. We ain't talking about the men. That lesson will be another day. We talking about the sisters right now. Your man come home from work, and you know your husband worked the construction every day. He might have his own company, but yet, because he has his own company, he still gets out there and get in the field, and he working. And his feet hurt. His legs is tired. And you know this. This ain't the first day that he came home hurting like this.
Okay.
Without him having to say anything, he comes in the house, his water is ran, his food is made already, and the oil is next to the bed. He don't say nothing, he don't even see it. He come in and take his bath, eat his food, he go upstairs and lay down, he make his prayer, he take his bath, he make prayer, tefillah. He lays down and go to sleep. He wake up, she down there at his toes, rubbing his toes. That's when you know you got a pure breed of a woman. It's not about being a slave. No righteous man wants his wife to be a slave.
Okay.
Because that ain't what this is about. What it's about is earning respect. It's about showing appreciation. It's about being that loyal and that submissive to your man in the essence of the word, of bringing out that type of appreciation to a man that is worthy. A lot of women are hard. They say, well, I don't know no man that's worthy. My man ain't worthy of me kissing his feet. Something wrong with that. Because in the moment of that mad sexual passion stuff, y'all get it into that old freaky stuff. If he doing something that way, you gonna kiss him feet. He gonna kiss your feet, you gonna kiss his feet. You ain't got no problem with it as long as there's some old freaky stuff going on. But when there ain't no freaky stuff going on, and you being in that righteous state that you're supposed to be in, what's the problem with you submitting yourself to your husband's authority or showing your form of appreciation in that manner? I saw a post that said something like, it said pretty much like what I said, but it had this woman kneeling before her husband while he was eating her food that she just gave him. And the post said something like, do you see yourself doing this for your man? So many sisters spoke on that post. No, it ain't needed, it ain't necessary. Oh no, I ain't doing no foolishness like that, that's ridiculous. That look like some idolatry stuff to me. Our minds are so far removed. Maybe she wanted to do that. If it's a command thing of her, like you said, if that's something that they agree upon in their household, then so be it. But the average woman, you couldn't get her to agree on anything like that. Let me make the record straight, because I'm not saying that this type of honor and respect is mandatory. I'm not saying that. But you must possess that type of spirit to have a prosperous relationship with a true man of the Creator. That's it. That's the bottom line. Right. You must possess the type of spirit that would allow you to have that type of atmosphere in your home. When your man has the confidence, well,
Somebody asks your brother, your husband, would your wife kiss your feet? If you walk in the house and say, baby, can you kiss my feet? Just like that. Most women's pride kick right in from the door.
Okay.
Man, most women pride kick right in if you asking them to fix you something to eat. Believe me, some women are like that. They'll fix a TV dinner, but you ask them to cook some food. Oh no, who you think you is? I ain't doing no cooking today. And they won't cook. Cook for yourself. And I'm being honest.
Okay.
It's they pride kicking from the door. So different levels of pride determine the type of woman that you have. The type of respect that you earn from your woman. So you walk in the house, you say, well, baby, listen, baby, listen. You know, the dudes them blew your head up on the job, and you say, well, shit, I got the most righteous woman in the world. You go home and you say, well, baby, listen, baby, would you kiss my feet? She say, yeah, I'll kiss your feet. Kiss my feet for me, baby. Kiss my feet. You stick your foot out like that and kiss your feet. They kiss your feet. The very first moment you said that, the average woman will feel disrespected.
Okay.
That ancient spirit don't kick in. Whereas, well, this is my man. What is the problem with me kissing his feet? Nothing. A wise woman will go upstairs and get the soap and the wash rag and wash them feet first. And go down there and say, here, husband, kiss your feet. Because at the same time, when it's required of that man to go out of his way to do what he must do to provide for his family, she'll never know what he went through to make sure she got what she needed.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
She'll never know. A real man of the Creator, he don't run his mouth demanding that you repay me for what I did for you.
Right.
He don't do that.
Okay.
He does. He don't even tell you how he did, what he did, why he did it. He just get it done. And all you see is the benefits and the results.
Right.
And then to have a wife that don't want to do in righteousness what a woman should do in righteousness, you don't need her as a wife because she's a hindrance. Remember what I said to you? The woman dictates, in reality, the flow of a household.
Yep.
You don't believe me? Watch this. Get a disrespectful woman that always like to argue, bicker, and fight, and always complain, and won't do none of the things that you needed to do in the household. Do your house run smoothly?
No.
It's always contention, right?
Okay.
Get rid of her. She got to go. But even when you get rid of her, there's a process and a procedure for you to do before you just don't say, babe, you're not doing right, you got to go. That is illegal in the eyes of the Creator. You give her opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. And after you run out of opportunities, then something got to happen. You go seek counsel. You say, you know what, we got to go have counsel. We got to go talk to this brother, talk to that brother about some counseling because your spiritual leader that you deem worthy, your elder that you deem worthy, not just a man of age, because age has nothing to do with it. It's that wisdom.
Yeah.
You talk to a man that's of age and he be spreading your business around the street. You don't want that.
Okay.
It's that wisdom that you have to have. You go sit and talk to them. You take her before them and you tell her what's going on in your household. And you tell them, I want to divorce her. This is what I'm highly considering because she's totally out of alignment. She's not helping me to motivate toward righteousness, toward the Creator. And you have to keep it real because this is important. The women control the flow in the house. And women, if you're that arrogant that you can't humble yourself before your husband, then you need a new husband. Something wrong. You need to bethink yourself because if your husband is on point like a man is supposed to be in the eyes of the Creator, and you can't kiss his feet, rub his feet, prepare his house, and get everything in a manner in which it's supposed to be to provide him with a peaceful mind and relaxation and enjoyment when he comes home, you need another husband that don't require these type of things. Because a righteous man of the Creator, he's going to require that.
Okay.
And like she said earlier, a lot of women have wasted a lot of that energy on trash men. Men who wasn't worthy of it. And then when they get a righteous man, and he's presenting to them, hey, listen, what's up, baby? Can you do this and that? Oh, no, man, I ain't doing no stuff like that. She built up a defense against breaking down her spirit toward her companion. And that's important. When a woman builds up that defense, it's almost nothing that you can get from her that she's supposed to do for you of her own volition because she decides to do it. It's almost not going to happen. You want to speak, or do you want me to address these questions?
Address the question.
Okay.
It's no,
Yeah, there's
it's more
a couple.
complex.
Royal Zoe had a question. Oh, when you're catering and being submissive to a righteous man, it should be fulfilling to you as a woman to do so. She's absolutely right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. It has to be fulfilling to you. You have to feel appreciated in the process.
Makes you feel good.
That's right. Yes, the woman sets the atmosphere in the home for the man. Yes, correct. Go ahead, my brother, your floor.
Okay, let's just regular women, not so righteous or not, just regular women. In our society, the black man or the Hebrew man has been deemed the lowest form of man around. And simultaneously, they have elevated our sisters, giving them jobs, put them in position to almost like rule over us, because that's what, our captives did. So you have the 400 years of us being downtrodden and beat down and kneeled going on the street, and our women seeing that. It's kind of, I'm trying to shoot the women some bail. Like, it's hard for them to try to then respect their Hebrew man. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Sure I do.
Because in society, we're the lowest. They deem us like the lowest form of man. Like,
But then we have to prove them wrong. They
Exactly.
also deem us 3/5 of a man.
that,
We have to
Exactly.
prove them wrong, but
But-
we don't prove them wrong
but-
with our mouths. We
By
prove them
our
wrong through
actions,
our
right.
actions.
Right.
And a lot of the brothers' actions are so far out of course that we
Okay.
got a problem. The sisters see it, and they don't want to give us what we rightfully deserve.
so that righteous man and that good man that you say that you are, right? You provide your wife a home, you provide her food, garment, transportation, all the things that a man is supposed to provide for his wife. Here we go. Same thing as the white man, our adversary. They'll put you up in the house. All you got to go is say, hey, I got these kids. No, man, they'll give you a house. They'll give you a loan. They'll give you free food and everything. So then the woman that has all these things, the Israelite woman has all these things, and then they'll say, well, what I got to do this for? Because I can get all this from the government. You feel what I'm saying? I know women have all this, and they're just getting a check from the government. So then when a man comes around, they can't see the vision of, hey, I need to please this man, or I have to do, what I need to do to keep this man or whatever. They just don't do it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I heard you.
Because we're fighting a war, we're fighting a physical war and a mental war.
No, you're dealing with
Well, I think-
you're dealing with an average woman.
But I said that in the
You're dealing
beginning.
with a stupid woman, because the average woman is stupid.
Okay,
Let me finish, please. And I mean what I'm saying.
Okay.
She's stupid. She'll get all the physical possessions and be satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
But what a righteous man got to offer, the government cannot give to her. And that's a personal relationship with the Creator.
Right.
That's true spiritual salvation. That's the redemption of her sins. That's what a righteous man brings to the table that others cannot provide. A wise woman knows and recognizes this. What is that? Isaiah the 4th chapter. When they go out, 7 women shall come to one man and say, let me be called by your name just to take away my reproach.
Right.
There's a reason why. The reproach is the evil that she's done. See, that reproach can't be touched with physical things. It takes a spiritual connection, a spiritual man, to be able to go before the Almighty, just being connected to Him, and have that reproach removed. A wise woman would understand that. See, all the things I heard you mention was all physical things, and that's why the sisters rebel, because they are looking at physical attributes. This man can do this man do that. It ain't even about that. Even when I heard you mention how I provide for my family, you didn't touch on the spiritual aspect.
No, but that's already
which
understood.
is the most important thing.
Gotcha.
When I met her, when I met them, when I met any of them, what I would do first, what a lot of people don't do, is raise that mentality. If you don't do that, because remember what I said, most of them are stupid. Most of them are dead, like the valley of dry bones. And it ain't until that spirit comes into them that they can actually begin to live like they're supposed to live. Most of them don't want to admit what I'm saying is true. That ego and that pride is kicking in again. But it's real. They walk around talking Torah on a Shabbat day all day. Shabbat over, they back out the
Where
streets
you
of
at?
that world.
Where you at?
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
This is our reality. And then we say we want a righteous man. But you're not showing yourself to be a righteous woman. A righteous woman is going to walk in the law all days of the week. At every moment. At every beck and call. Every moment she got, she's going to be going before the Most High, whether she got a man or not. She's going to be on point. She's going to demand from the Creator a righteous man.
Okay.
Through her actions, through her walk. And it ain't going to be no walk that's going to last a day or two, or even for a year. It's going to be something that's embedded inside of her.
Right.
If that man that she meets don't raise her mentality, don't raise her spirituality, don't raise her situation with the Creator, he's not worthy of having her.
Okay.
She's not worthy of being with that man because they shouldn't be together. It's foolishness. As critical as times are today, if you ain't got a spiritual man, you're a fool. And all y'all sisters out here talking about, I ain't sharing no man. Let me tell you, sister, if you got a spiritual man in your view, I don't care if he got 3 nashim, you better go get him. Even if you just got to be a servant in his house and say, you know what, brother, just let me wash your car every once in a while. I'll help out. Whatever way you can attach yourself to a spiritual man in today's time, you better do it. Because Most High ain't playing. He releasing something real drastic in this earth. And it's hitting every household, it's hitting every family, and it's going to go out throughout the earth. Even the ones who put that stuff in motion are going to be affected by it.
Okay.
Because it's the Most High's wrath. He's doing what he sees fit to do. He's just utilizing the adversarial forces to get his job accomplished. He's going to strike them down with the same thing that they use to come against you. Sisters, if you know of a righteous man, you better be up in that brother's inbox saying, yo, bro, you got any applications?
That's my wife saying.
Yeah.
Well,
Be up in his
there you
inbox
go.
talking about you got any applications.
I told you.
I want to fill out an application.
I'm feeling you on that. I totally understand. But this goes back to my first original thing. We gotta build, like if you see something in me, you're like, yo, Yeshai could be righteous. He has a chance to be totally righteous. Bring his his spirituality up, and boom, you got a righteous man right there. But right now, maybe I'm not the most righteous man. Maybe I need a boost of
You
spirituality.
saying maybe. What, you got some doubt?
You never know. But listen, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, or you might see, okay, the brother Yeshai has the ability to be a totally righteous man. Then you have another man here, oh, this man might just be a little bum, but he's full of spirituality. You might have to up his work ethics. You understand what I'm saying? To get him there. And then you become a blessing for the woman. Because that's the one thing that I see with a righteous man, or the righteous man I see, it's a thing there. It's the Creator's blessing, where even in a calamity, or the land is being cursed right now with this so-called virus or whatever's going on. You still see them moving the right way, making positive steps. When other people that fell off, the Creator's blessing is still there. I get a little baby blessing every now and then, depending on how I'm moving. But but what I'm saying is that's what the woman should see. Like, hey, I need to be with this man because the Creator is
go.
blessing him.
And
You
that's
feel what
the
I'm
key.
saying? You
That's
feel what I'm
the-
saying?
that's what-
Beyond okay, I like his watch, his car, whatever. I see that, I can move with this man throughout all this fog and storm that's going on, because I'm gonna cling to the blessing that the Creator done etched out for him.
But it's also going to affect your relationship with the Almighty.
Right.
When you got a righteous spirit in the atmosphere, if you are a person who knows wisdom, who's right in your heart, you want to do right, you're going to cling to that righteous atmosphere.
Right.
And it's going to elevate your consciousness
Right.
and take you to the next level. That's what a lot of men lose when they come into these relationships with these women. they so busy trying to lay in a bed with a woman that they don't find out her real spiritual needs.
Okay.
So what you trying to say, man? No,
Yeah.
I'm joking. I understand. I understand because we see the beauty, we see, you know, that
outer.
the outer, and then everything, you know, the way they, you know, because a woman will yes you to death till they get in that, you know, that position, and then you're like, oh, this is the best thing ever, and then as soon as whatever happens, then you're like, yo, what was I thinking?
But see, that's when that spiritual discernment come in, because everything that look good ain't good. You gotta
Right.
look past the outer, and you gotta
And
see
that-
where her soul
right, and
stuff
that's
look
why
like,
I
man.
think we need to have a community.
You gotta
we
go
need to
there.
have 7 day.
We got a community Goshen.
I understand what you're saying, but we need with that we need a 7 days of Israel, not just we Israelites on Shabbat. You understand what I'm saying? We need every day somebody's an Israelite so people can keep an eye on you. Because if I only see you on the Shabbat, I don't know what you're doing 6 days a week.
Right.
And that's a lot of times with these women. You know, you might see them at the Knesset or wherever in passing. Oh, that's a beautiful woman. That's this. And then once you get to meet them, you're like, oh, this ain't what I signed up for. Same thing with the men. The most righteous dudes I know, you see them on the Shabbat, is one way.
Yep.
Ride by them on the street, like, yo, what are you doing coming out of there? You know what I'm saying?
Shabbat
So-
Shalom, Shalom.
I know I went off the reservation again, but
Jessica
This-
Windrum, Shabbat Shalom. Keep on, read on, I'm listening. Go ahead.
okay. I lost my train of thought, but what I'm saying is, back to the blessing. You know, you'll see a righteous man and a spiritual man and somebody that's on point, and you'll see by the Creator's blessing 99.9% of the time, or 100% of the time, yo, this man is doing right by the Creator.
Yeah.
Because it's instant. When you stop doing right by the Creator, you should be like, yo, this dude is. You can tell by what's befalling this man. Like, yo, this ain't working. You understand what I'm saying? So, find yourself a righteous man or one that's on the righteous path.
But not even that though. You figure a woman gonna know a
Young
righteous
man,
man by how he move because he's not gonna move like the average guy out here.
Yeah, exactly.
His speech gonna be different. His walk gonna be different. His talk gonna be different. The way he come at her, the way he approach her, is gonna be different than the way somebody else approached it.
Right.
The way they discuss and have conversations is gonna be different than the way that she used to having a conversation.
I totally
But
feel
the
what you.
problem, I had a brother, and I meant to reach out to his brother and invite him in. He may be, I believe his name is Noriyahu, I believe it is. He sent me a post that he was having conversations with this female, and I posted it on my page on Facebook. And he was talking about sisters need a righteous man, and this sister came back and said, I don't want no righteous man.
Wow.
She said, because he's no fun.
Oh wow.
I need a man that's gonna be a little bit good and a little bit of the devil at
Oh.
the same time.
Oh wow.
That's what she said she looking for.
What's her number? No, I'm joking.
No, you're not.
It's like, no.
We done told you last week. Cut that
Yo,
out.
I'm off that. I'm off that.
What I think.
You know, but the problem that a lot of people make is, first of all, you got to think about this, Herman, because a lot of people don't understand this. And I'm going to say this carefully, and then I'm explaining myself. In Isaiah, the 45th chapter, I believe it's verse 6, the Most High says, I create good and evil.
Okay.
I create light and darkness. All these things are made by the Almighty. So in order for the Most High to produce these things, they had to come from Him. So if they came from Him, that means they have to be a portion of Him. Why do people tend to think that a man that is righteous is perfect?
Oh no.
He's not.
Absolutely.
And don't expect him to be perfect. So now, move the perfection aside. Why do the people think that a man that is striving for righteousness, a man that is of the Most High, can't bring you joy, satisfaction, and pleasure?
Right.
Now, if you're looking for some evil stuff, like some orgies and all that little crazy stuff, then you might not be looking for a man and a creator. You follow me? If you're looking to be getting high and smoking weed and just
Drinking all that.
doing all kind of crazy stuff, she's probably right. She don't want a man and a creator because he has a name to uphold.
Okay.
He has an image that he has to keep alive.
That's right.
So what I'm going to say to you like this, and this is what I had to be careful about. What a man does with his wife in the privacy of his own home, without violating the laws that the Most High set on record, is nobody's business.
Okay.
Nobody. How he gets down, how he does what he do with his woman or his nashim in the privacy of his home or their homes or however he deal with those women, that's their business.
Okay.
And I mean that. As long as they don't violate the laws of the Almighty. As long as they don't do that, that man is that's his property. He can do whatever he wants with his women. Now, when a woman says that she wants an evil man versus a righteous man,
She's evil.
you got to question her spirit.
Mm.
You got to question her motivation. What is it that she's trying to get out of life, really? You understand? Where's her passion? Where's her desires? Really, are they in the right place? More than likely they're not. Why would you want to walk with the devil when the Most High has heaven sitting here waiting for you?
Okay.
That's evil. You're a destructive person, and you're somebody that they need to watch out for. That's right. Strive to be as perfect as possible. Did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say that I agree on many levels of what you're saying about what you all are saying about women. But I think also that women know when they look at a person if they're going to be able to match up to that person or not. Like how you said, a woman kind of like tailors the way her house is going to be run. Mm-hmm. And so a woman can tell, okay, no, that man's going to be too much for me. And I think a lot of times women get into those relationships because they feel like they have to either save them from whatever they're going through or to just, sometimes women do it just to brag to another woman, like, oh, I got this man and this is what he does for me. But they're not ready for the responsibility of what that takes. And so a lot of times it's not even a woman just being stupid, it's just the choice she's making. Like, women have to come to grips with themselves. Am I ready to be on this level? Because they have to know when I get into this relationship with this type of man, he's going to elevate me. Am I even ready to be elevated? Is my spirituality there yet? You know what I mean? Or am I going to be fighting that elevation?
And that's what it is.
And then that causes, which will cause that man, or not will cause, but it can cause that man to lower his elevation so that he can still have her.
And that's wicked.
Yeah, and that's wicked. And also, it's like the Creator. Like one thing I tell sisters that I counsel with when they're married to a man who they're striving to be more righteous than that husband of theirs, then I tell them to stay righteous, because the Creator doesn't like divorce, and you're not, as a woman, you can't just walk away from him. But if you maintain your righteousness, the Most High is going to open up a way for that relationship to disappear.
That's right.
You know, and but my point is, the woman, just like a man is responsible for who he chooses, a woman is responsible also for who she chooses.
Okay.
And if she chooses a man that's not ready, who she's at a certain place spiritually, and I'm only saying this because I've been there. I've been where, especially when I first came into this way of life, my zeal for the Creator was, I would say, not to even be boastful, but I feel I was at 1,000% with my zeal, because I came out of the world and I just saw this perfect space as an Israelite and how it was supposed to be, and that was my vision. And then I married, or I was with a man who his vision wasn't there. I actually wanted him. I tried to force the elevation he wasn't ready for. And so because he wasn't ready, it brought my elevation down. It brought my zeal down. And that happens on both sides. And so that's what I was saying. A woman has to be she has to be picky as well. And she has to be very knowledgeable of that man prior to going in a relationship. And that's why I'm so pro guided courtships now. And when I
Yeah.
talk to my daughters, especially, because I know that the type of woman I am, my daughters are there. Like, I'm not raising daughters that's lower level than me. My daughters are going to be on point. And I'm raising my sons in the same manner. But I go to my daughters more because, like you said, we can control the flow of things. And I know if my daughters say, you know, well, I'm going to just pick this man because he likes me today. And then you're not looking at everything else. What's going to happen when he's not on that level where you are? You're going to decrease your level. Like my sister said, why do we, as women, feel so comfortable to take on a man as a project? You know what I mean? Like, you see all his flaws, but you like, oh, I could fix him. I could do this. I could do that. But we don't see, when we go into that, what it does to us. And that's why I said so many times, we go into this and then it depletes us. And then when we do finally get into a righteous marriage or a righteous union, which I had to go into myself when I got into that righteous union, I had to go in, pray to the Creator constantly and say, this is what I've always wanted. Now bring me back to that place where I was prior to this so that I can stay in this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So a lot of times it's like I hear you saying it's women are stupid, and we do make stupid choices. And like I do tell my daughters, as virgin daughters, a lot of daughters have this mindset, oh, I'm not gonna do this for a man. And then I tell them, but once you become that man's woman, once he goes inside of you, you have no idea the depths of what you will do for that man. And if that man is elevated, you're going to elevate yourself. But if he's lower, you're going to become a lower person.
Right.
Especially if that man is not strong enough to rise up to where you are.
Okay.
That was it.
And that's where we need to be as men to start. We all elevating
Elevating each
ourselves
other.
before we go and grab these women and then lower the women. So it's like a circle. It's like a whole cluster of bad decisions because we're not elevating ourselves as men. We're not even, touching base with each other during the week. Make sure, hey, man, how's your righteousness? How you doing? How's everything going? Like this brother be like, yo, man, I was thinking about you out there being funny business. I be like, no, man, I'm chilling. I'm like, yo, why you calling me? Yo, man, you just crossed my mind. Just want to make sure everything's okay.
Right.
He'll do this during the week, and I'll be like, yo, man, yeah, but I'm looking around like, yo, this brother see me. No, but it don't be like that. Okay?
It's just a spiritual connection.
It's just a
that
connection
y'all
that
have.
he's like, yo, you ain't been up the Northeast lately, have you? I'll be like, no, man, I'm chilling down West Philly. He's like, all right, cool. So I'll be like, you know what I'm talking about. But listen, we as men need to elevate ourselves.
Absolutely.
Right? We need to put in like, hey, man, brother, I know your loins is calling, but you're not ready for that woman because you're going to destroy that joint. You know what I'm saying? Not calling women joint. But I'm saying you're going to go ahead and mess up the whole community with your funny business.
That's right.
Then we got to start weeding out these super funny business dudes.
Yeah.
These dudes that go other ways or touching children or whatever. Get them up out of here. Yo, man, give me your kufi, brother. You out. You know what I mean? You out. Give me your guards. We don't want to see you again. Next time we see you, it's going to be a whole situation.
Right.
Go.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So they ain't all intermingled in our community.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So we need to. Everybody need to have everybody's number. It just need to be. You feel what I'm saying? Or since we are a virtual community, yo, call a brother on this beer. Yo, man, why you post that? You know what I mean? Yo, what you going on with these naked ladies on your page or whatever you got going on?
Yeah.
Check a brother whenever you can. So these brothers ain't turning women into something. You know, we got to keep our women pure. You feel what I'm saying? It's bad enough they got to work for the white man 90% of the time, and we trash. We ain't giving them a chance. You feel what I'm saying? So let's cleanse ourselves, brothers. But that's a whole nother conversation. We need to be sharp on these brothers and then ask the women, hey, could you kiss my feet? Because he ain't kissing these feet is trash. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just
No, but
yeah, like yo, I gotta be like yo, man. you eat beef bacon. Why am I kissing your feet, man? You stink. You know what I mean? Whatever you doing that you want this woman to be following you and doing the right thing. You feel what I'm saying?
But see, the whole thing is that she should know whether his feet stink before they go down and become husband and wife.
Exactly. No, you
That's
don't
what
get
the
man. Yeah.
courtship process is all about.
Exactly.
Right.
Be around this man for a year. You smell his feet and his
A lot of people don't go through the courtship process. Brother be having stinky feet, and the woman don't know because she didn't ask him to take off his shoes.
Right.
Right.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
She didn't even take the time to look at his feet.
Right.
The odor, the fumes is coming out through the shoes, but she not even taking the time to recognize it. She bypasses that because his hair looks so good.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because he got 2 watches on. But his feet stink. And they stink horribly, and she don't even she don't think about the physical.
He drives a BMW
He
with
got a
his feet stink.
BMW or a Benz or a Jaguar, and all of a sudden he's gonna be my husband. Oh man, I can't believe he called me. But listen, you've been in the inbox and you're talking to the sister. You say, sister, listen, you gotta fast, you gotta pray, you gotta meditate, you gotta separate yourself from the Creator. Separate yourself from all evil and negativity. You can't smoke no weed. Them sisters don't hit you back.
Yeah.
The brother has a hard time contacting the sister. Then
Yeah.
he trying to elevate you, sister, but you can't even see it. You don't even understand it. And it ain't even about taking a woman as your wife. It's just about getting us out of the condition that we're in today. We need help. Every time I'm in somebody's inbox, Shabbat Shalom, sis. Shalom, sis. I know what they thinking. First thing they thinking is Prince trying to make a move on me. No, Prince trying to elevate you. He trying to raise you up so that you can be right for somebody else. I talked to one sister in the inbox. I talked to a lot of sisters. One sister in the inbox, we talking. And I'm starting to tell her all about the spiritual things that she needs to do. And I know in her mind, she's thinking, Frank trying to make a move on me. Yeah, let me tell him everything he need to hear, everything he need to know. She told me she was single. You single? Yeah, I'm single. I'm trying to get myself together. I said, you know what? I got the perfect dude for you. Called my brother up. Yo, bro, you ready for this girl? He said, yeah, who is she? Let me introduce me to her. Call her sister. Do I have your permission to give your information to the brother so y'all can connect? That's from the type vibe I'm on. My brother's already ready. I know how he rolls. You know what I mean? He ain't perfect, but he doing what he got to do. He got his own. He got his job. He got his house. He got his little, his spirituality is there. He worshiping the Creator all week, not just one day a week.
Right.
So I call him up. I said, yo, I got something for you. Listen, sisters, if I'm trying to come up on a sister, I'm going to tell them. I don't play those games. From the door, I'm going to tell you what it's about. Prince don't play those games. But the thing is, when I'm talking to you, I'm trying to elevate you. You might think I'm trying to come on to you. I'm not coming on to you.
Right.
I'm trying to understand you so I'll know how to feed you. Because a lot of people don't take the time to talk to people to really know we got a generic formula that we give to everybody that we're trying to feed, and it don't work for everybody. Mm-hmm. The only way you know how to feed the person is that you have to communicate in contact with the person. Once the person trusts you enough, it opens up, you know how to feed them. You understand what I'm saying? So when I give you some food, if Prince is in your box, I'm trying to feed you, sis. If I'm trying to move on you, I'm going to tell you. Call my wife. I want y'all to get to know each other. That's going to come out my mouth, and then you will know what it's about. Hint, hint, take the hint.
Oh, so you're not funny business in the inbox?
No,
Okay.
play around like that. If I am, she will know what I'm about.
Okay.
I'm not going to be telling the sister all these things, holding these long conversations and trying to move up on her, and then 3 or 4 days later, she don't already know what this is about. Mm-hmm. I don't waste people's time. I don't do that. If I'm interested in you, I'm going to ask you, how do you see yourself? Can you see yourself as a queen? Can you? Because that's how my wife going to be, a queen. I tell my wife, don't never walk out the house unless you look queenly. Never. Don't never let the world see you just looking ordinary and plain. I don't get down like that. And I'm going to put all that I can do, the energy, so that she never looks that way. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Okay.
Spiritually, mentally, emotionally. What the person that you have on your spirit shows through your outer essence.
Right. Right.
So if she beat down, trodden down, and I'm all on her back, on her neck, and I'm hurting her inside the house, she can't walk out the house and represent her house properly. She can't. So inside the house, it has to be peace.
That's right.
It has to be a state of a bliss.
Right.
She being here talking about, Dad, I'm living this life, I can't believe it. She's supposed to feel that way.
Word.
Every man is supposed to make his wife feel that way.
Okay.
If he doesn't, he's not doing his job. I mean what I'm saying. The Most High, he understands, and I'm telling the truth. This is how a man is supposed to get down with his wife. He's not supposed to let her rule the house. He governs the house because he's the man. But she dictates the flow of the spirit of the house because she's the woman. I understand that.
Right. I got you.
You got
And
it.
you're talking from 30 years in. 30 years, 30 plus. Right?
Right.
So what advice do you give to the young brother? The young brother, I see a couple brothers there and there,
Every
20,
week I
21,
teach.
22.
Every week I teach, I
The-
give advice.
Right.
Every text I post, I give advice.
Right, because-
every time I talk, I give advice.
Right. Because the woman that's going to be his queen is in the same age bracket. She needs to see that spark in this young man to know that, hey, I'm going to take this walk because one day I'm going to be a prince. You understand what I'm saying? One day I'm going to be a man of renown. You feel what I'm saying? A leader in the community. But this woman has to see that at a young age. See little sparks and stuff like that. Just like you was telling your daughters. You feel what I'm saying? So I understand what you're saying, but you got to craft your message to everyone too. Like just not us old geezers like myself.
My message is crafted to everyone.
Okay.
They just have to watch the videos.
Okay.
If they miss the video, catch up on it at a later time. Watch it because the knowledge is there.
Okay.
One lady said to me in the inbox, she says, well, what can you do to help me? I said, well, sis, you watch the videos? No, I ain't looking for that stuff. But I can't do nothing. There's nothing I can do to help you. Nothing. If you're not going to raise your spirituality, then nothing you do physically is going to work. It might put a couple hours in your pocket temporarily, but the true essence of life is not going to be there with you.
Okay.
Everybody needs to deal with them on a spiritual level before they can do any effects on a physical level. A lot of people don't understand that, but that's the key. So any opportunity I get to the young brothers, what I would tell you to do is be a man of your word.
First and foremost.
First and foremost. Whatever you say, do. And don't go smoke. Be direct. Sis, if you go out and we separate, or I give you a bill of divorce, you go and be with another man, you can never be my wife again. That's direct. She understood that, right? Now, if she go out and she lay with another man, then that means that she don't ever want to be your wife again. So after that relationship don't work out, and then she come back and say, you know what, it was better when I was with such and such, Yeshaya, so let me go see if I can get back with Yeshaya. Yeshaya got to be strong enough to say, yo, remember what I told you back 7 years ago when we first met? When we first became husband and wife? That still holds true to today. Once I give you a bill and you going, and you go, even if you go entertain another man, I don't want to see you no more. That's not the law. The law actually says lay down with another
Right.
man. But Prince is a different thing. You know, you even call him another brother, then that means to me that you're not even thinking about what we had. So keep on calling.
Yeah.
That's where it's at. But you got to maintain that. Be a man of your word. When you say you're going to do something, do it.
Okay, what about this? As a hypothetical, a Hebrew hypothetical for the sister. The sister's with Brother Yeshai, you know, everything's good. She just don't like, maybe his feet stink, I don't know, whatever she don't like about the brother. She goes out, they get divorced. She looks around and sees that, wow, there's nothing out here in Israel. You know, talk to people in the inbox, entertain people with the phone, go out here, there, never deals with another man. But just entertain 7 Hebrew brothers. Should she come back to the brother Yeshua when she's still in bad shape? You know what I mean? When she realized that, hey, this ain't working out?
If she hasn't slept with another brother, then the possibility is yes. She can come back to Yeshaya if Yeshaya is willing to let her in. Okay? If she's lied to Yeshaya in the past, then I would suggest she's lying to Yeshaya now.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Just
would
to
trust
get back in.
if she, to me, if it was one of my women and they left me and then come back after they done taste the waters all around the world,
Okay.
I wouldn't even want them. Wouldn't be
I
no
got
good
you.
for me no more. No good. Whatever you did before I met you,
Cool.
it can be forgiven.
Right.
But I'm going to be so much on point and how a man's supposed to treat his wife, that if you ever walk away from that, to me, you're a fool. Just that simple. I'm not going to give my woman no reason to want to, well, I want a divorce. That don't exist in my vocabulary. I'm not going to give her a reason to say that. Rather, I got 20 of them. I'm not going to give none of them a reason to say, you know what, I don't want you no more. I can't deal with you. Do I give you a reason?
No.
I'm not going to give them any reason. I erase all doubt. All doubt is gone. I don't get down like that. But this ain't me blowing my own horn. What I'm saying is that this is how the Hebrew man has to walk in this life. We can't give our wives any reason to seek comfort in another man. Ever. You got to be her best girlfriend. You got to be her best confidant. You got to be her mother. You got to be, and I'm going to break it all down when I finish. You got to be her sister. You got to be everything that a woman trusts in is in the female nurture of things, the female side of things, if you understand what I'm saying. So when I say you got to be her girlfriend, her mother, her confidant, and all those things, what I'm saying is you got to give ear to her pain. A lot of men don't do that. We don't want to take the time to hear what our women, what's in their hearts, what's in their minds. And it ain't got to be on her time when you do it, but it has to be done. You understand? You don't always have to, you ready to walk out the door, go do what you got to do, or you tired, you ready to go to sleep. You ain't got to get, because you're not even going to be focused. You got to give her ear. You got to give her an audience at the most convenient time when you're able to focus on her needs. And you have to meet those needs. She's not going to always be right. I'm not saying to you that you have to succumb to what she say, because if she's wrong, she's wrong. But you have to know how to respectfully and properly bring her back to reality.
Okay.
She has to be able to trust in you like she do her sister, like she do her mother, like she do her girlfriend, her confidant. You understand? That's the type of love, respect, honor, trust, loyalty. That's what she has to have in you. But you have to earn that.
And you got to become a righteous man.
You ain't going to earn that by being an unrighteous man. You ain't going to earn that by not being a man of your word. She ain't going to want to kiss your feet if everything else about you is out of order.
So we went full circle back to you got to be a righteous man, and that's what we need to build in Israel.
Yeah.
So all this goes back to, like I said in the beginning, we need more righteous men.
Well, we got to create them.
We create more righteous men.
We got to create them.
You
I
understand
do
what
my
I'm saying?
job. You doing yours?
I
You
said,
on yours?
I'm on mine.
Yeah,
you
right.
on yours?
Yeah, right. You
Oh.
ain't talking to nobody.
Yeah, who,
You
me?
ain't talking to nobody.
Come on, man.
All you do is come to Shabbat class and act like you talking to people.
And I tell you what, you pull
Bring
up.
him to class with you then.
I ain't got no problem with
Bring him
that.
to
I ain't
class.
got no problem with
And I'll
that.
be like, all right.
Hey, listen, hey, Prince, you already know. I ain't got no
Bring him
problem
to
with
class.
that. I ain't got no problem with
Get him
that.
to tune in on the videos. Show up or shut up.
Right. I ain't got
Show
no problem
up,
with that.
produce, or don't do nothing. No, honestly though, a lot of us are not ready, and no disrespect, my brother, but a lot of us are not ready to enlighten others because when they bring their controversy, we're not able to handle it. So I understand. If you're not speaking to nobody right now, it wouldn't even bother me. I wouldn't even care. But I do believe in my heart that you are. I do believe that on the level of understanding that you have, you share it with others. I ain't got no problem with that. I do believe that you are. But there's a lot of people who talk the talk, and they're not walking the walk. You know what I mean, big brother over there?
But I think. Go ahead.
Brother full of wisdom.
I know.
Full of wisdom.
I
And work with heathens every day.
know.
Every day.
I talk to him
I
all the
surround
time.
myself.
And don't even try to elevate them. Some of them got Hebrew backgrounds, and he's still just about that money. As long as you working me, cool. I want to read this sister's post. Can you read it for me, please? Shakia Daniel said, what if the woman,
She said, huh?
the one where she says, what if the woman,
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm going.
Shabbat Shalom, Hidayah,
She says,
Shabbat Shalom, Shem, Shabbat Shalom, Shar, Shabbat Shalom, Ethel. May the Most High be with you all.
She said, what if the woman have only certain things, but her spirit is of the Creator? How does a woman's clothing define her? Does that make her more righteous just because her clothing is at her best? I only sense high ego or arrogance and nose up high because her because her is at her best. I
don't
think
understand that one.
she's just saying like because she feels her clothes are at her best. Spirit at times do not match the clothing, and that's why I put it. She's right. The garment doesn't match the spirit at times.
That's correct.
Because you can have women with skirts past the toes, dragging, head wraps high to the sky, and as soon as they take that off, they out there being a harlot. They're out
She's
there
right.
not teaching, raising their daughters righteously, raising their sons righteously. They're not really in this law. They might speak Hebrew. They might even say a couple of precepts here and there, but their actions, their heart is not truly about this way of life.
Remember what this class is about. It's about true submission.
Mm-hmm.
And true submission comes from your essence, your inward parts.
Yeah.
And Nat Turner just wrote something. Nat says, as long as I see that great righteous spirit in love, I as the righteous head am going to provide all the things she needs, and she will have those things she was lacking. Very good one, bro. Yvonne Cross, Shabbat Shalom. Diddy, Shabbat Shalom. Very good. Why would anyone want to kiss anyone's feet? See, Diddy, what happens is,
She missed the whole thing.
yeah, I'm ready to get on it right now. When you late for class, Diddy, you missed the wind up. So you got to go back after the class is over. You got to go back and you got to, you know, listen to the rest of the audio to lead up to that point of that statement. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into the scripture, and the scripture that I'm going to talk about is going to bring out a lot about the answer of your question, Diddy. Our spirit will show more than our righteousness. Shamira, Shabbat Shalom. Donan, Shabbat Shalom, Maki. This is a great lesson. Hopefully there's part 2. This is part 2 of last week, but we're going to have a part 3 and part 4 if needed. Please let me know if that's what we need to do, because we're here for the purpose to serve the people. May the Most High be pleased. All right. So, we're going to get started. Here we go. Where I want to start reading at today is the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 25. 1 Samuel, chapter 25. Let's do this, Israel. Let's do it. All right. Let's do this. Thank you, Diddy. I know you the bomb. And I appreciate you tuning in every Shabbat to be with us. Y'all can go out and share the video, family. We want to flood this room with 6 million people today. 6 million. Can we do it? Let's make this thing go super viral. 6 million people. Flood the room. Go out and share the video.
6 million.
Yeah, 6 million. We can do it.
You ready? Yeah.
All right. We got this. All right.
Chapter 24.
Are we ready? We're going to start our reading today in 1 Samuel chapter 25, verse 1. Read on, please.
Samuel died, and all of Israel gathered and made a lament for him, and they buried him in Ramah, his home.
Now, traditionally, our people mourn for the dead for 30 days. We will take that 30 days to the head, do whatever we got to do to mourn for the person who has passed away, traditionally. And for those people who don't know, I'm going to give you a little bit of a breakdown. Usually, when our people pass away, we try to have them buried within 3 days. We try to have them in the ground within 3 days. We also try not to put a casket, vault in the ground. And if you get a casket, sometimes you can put the body directly in the dirt. It's wrapped up in linen, wool, or cloth, 100% natural fiber. You can put the body right in the dirt and cover it up. Mm-hmm. If you have to get a casket, make sure the casket is 100% whatever it is. Make sure the casket is something of a natural fiber. Do not use metal. Use wood, usually a pine box. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money on a funeral. You don't do that. A pine box might cost you $500-$600, maybe $700, depending on where you live. You don't need nothing all elaborate. You just need something simple to put that body in so that the earth will deteriorate through the casket, through the body, and then the person will return back to the earth from where they came. These things are important, and a lot of people don't pay attention to these things, but they're necessary and mandatory. All right?
Usually you try to have them in the grave in 3 days. You wrap them from head to toe in wool, linen, cotton, anything 100%. And usually that's the way we do things. All right? You do not use embalming fluid. Do not embalm the person. Keep it natural. Put them in the grave. Okay? Do not put them in a vault. Put them in a casket. The casket usually goes in the ground inside of a concrete box. Do not get the concrete box. All cemeteries won't let you do it. So you have to find a specific cemetery that will allow you to put the casket right directly in the ground. That's the best way to do this. All right? So I just gave you that little breakdown because a lot of people don't know. And if anything takes place where somebody passes in your family and you want to give them a Hebrew funeral, you can always inbox me and I'll do my best to assist you, give you instructions and directions. Also, we have people that will come and wash the body for you. Yes, we don't do cremations. We don't do cremations. Now, I have to give you my opinion on that. In the book of Deuteronomy, in the book of Leviticus, I believe it's 22. The Most High speaks about being given over to the fires of Moloch. Cremation is a form of giving your body, your children, and the people over to the fires of Moloch. So we don't do cremations. We do funerals. We bury the bodies whole. So if there's a question about that, you can always talk to me later and we can clear that up. But cremations is off the table. We don't do cremations. Some Israelites who are staunch in this law, they want to be cremated. Prince, do not teach cremation. All right? Read on. Let's go. Thank you.
Dawid went down to the wilderness of Paran. There was a man in Moab whose possessions were in Carmel. The man was very wealthy. He was owed 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. At the time, he was sharing the sheep in Carmel.
I want to bring this up. You have to understand that this man wasn't an average guy. Business-wise, at least, he wasn't an average guy. This guy had 3,000 of this, 4,000 of that. He had a large bankroll. That's what that is. That's showing his wealth. So this sister that we're about to read about, her name is Abigail. Abigail understood that the man she was married to was getting it. She understood that when she married him. She was a very wise woman. She knew exactly what she was doing when she married him. We don't know if he changed his behavior afterwards. We don't know if this was an arranged marriage where she, at a young age, might have been given to him because of his wealth. We don't know how they came together. But what I can definitely say, I don't see anything of respect for him on a high level, but I do see where she honored him. And I want to say I don't see any love. I want to say love. That's what I want to say, but I don't want you to get it confused and think I'm talking about that stuff that the average people think love is. So I don't want you to think that she met him walking down the street, she saw him, they courted, she fell in love, and she said, hey, let's get married. It could have been that way, but I doubt it. And I only doubt it because of the nature that he has and the wisdom that she possesses. That's the only reason why I say it. All right? Now let's read that again. Read that verse again.
Okay, we're going to go back up. The man was very wealthy. He owned 3,000 sheep and 1,000 goats. At the time, he was shearing his sheep in Carmel.
Now, shearing the sheep shows that it was a certain time for him. This all takes place in a strategic moment. He was shearing his sheep. How many sheep did he have?
He had 3,000 sheep.
Do you know what you do when you shear your sheep to do with the skin? You sell it. So that means he was about to come into a whole lot of money. With 3,000 sheep and he's sharing them, what you do with the sheepskin when you share them, babe? Do you sell it?
When I do it?
Yeah.
Oh, I give it to Ruach and she spends it.
And spends it and makes it. So you sell it.
You sell it.
That's like I said, you sell it. So he was about to come into a whole lot of money. So Dawid understood the season that it was in. This man already had wealth, but he was about to come into some more wealth. Read on. Watch what happens.
The man's name was Nabal, and his wife's name was Abigail. The woman was intelligent and beautiful, but the man, a celibate, was a hard man and an evildoer. Dawid was in the wilderness when he heard that Nabal was shearing his sheep. Dawid dispatched 10 young men.
See, Dawid heard that Nabal was shearing the sheep. Dawid knew what time it was. If the man ain't got no money, which I know he got money, but if he ain't got no money at this time, he about to get some money. So Dawid says, you know what? We might be hurting right now. Let's go see if this will be a good time to approach him so he can pay us for our services that we provided for him when his people was in our land or when it was in Carmel and we had to take care of them and protect them from the adversary. So let's see what happens. Read on.
Dawid dispatched 10 young men, and Dawid instructed the young men, go to Carmel. When you come to Nabal, greet him in his name. Say as follows, to life, greetings to you.
It says, greet him in my name. Dawid is telling his 10 men to go and represent me and speak on my behalf to this brother, Nabal. Nabal meaning food. What did it say, Abigail meant again?
Joy of her father.
What did it say?
Her father's joy.
Her father's joy. Abigail. Abi is father, Gail meaning joy or pleasure or treasure.
Thank you.
Read on, please. Just put them aside for me.
Say as follows, to life, greetings to you, and to your household, and to all that is yours. I hear that you are now doing your shearing. As you know, your shepherds have been with us. We did not harm them, and nothing of theirs was missing all of the time. They were in Carmel.
Now, Carmel. Carmel is a place that a lot of Israelites went to do business and also for spiritual reasons. Carmel was a very intricate part of a place. So now he had his sheep, his camels, his property being sheep and goats and lambs or whatever they were in Carmel. While he was there was a lot of traffic in Carmel because a lot of people traveled to Carmel to exchange goods, to sell goods, and to do trade. So now Dawid and his men, I think he had 400 men with him at the time, they were protecting Nabal's investment. They made sure his money got back, made sure wasn't nothing missing, but he was never compensated. So now the time that he heard that Nabal was shearing the sheep again, getting ready to do something again, Dawid said, you know what, let me see if we can get compensated now. So he sends his men to go and talk to him. Out of respect. So far, nothing has been done wrong. Read on and let's see what happens.
Ask your men, and they will tell you. So receive these young men graciously, for we have come on a festive occasion. Please give us your servants and your son Dawid whenever you can. Dawid's young men went and delivered this message to Nabal.
Now stop for a second. They didn't put no demands on him. They said, give us whatever you can. If the job was worth $2 million and he gave him $1,000, he gave him what he could, so they really couldn't argue. Just out of respect. But let's see what he did instead. Read on.
David's young men went and delivered this message to Nabal in the name of Dawid. When they stopped speaking, Nabal answered Dawid's servants, who is Dawid?
Now what did he just say?
He answered Nabal's servants and said, who is Dawid?
Do y'all understand what he just did? He was extremely disrespectful from the door. The first thing came out, see, he got all his sheep back. He got all his livestock back. They're all sitting around. He gets to count them every day. So ain't no big deal to him no more. So who is Dawid? You need to mess with that joker. But who was Dawid? He knew who Dawid was. Everybody in Israel knew who Dawid was. The name Dawid should have made Nabal tremble. Because everybody knew what he was about. But it didn't. Because he was foolish. Ain't that what Nabal mean? Foolish? He was stupid. I like that word today. He was dumb. He did a very foolish thing. He, first of all, in the ancient days, as it should be today, your name should precede you.
Okay.
People hear your name, they say, Prince. They should be like, hey, where you at? Where you at? I'm going to see that brother. Where you at? They come to Philadelphia, they should be calling Prince up to say, yo, shalom, I'm just riding through the city, man. I want to see you. You all right? That's respect. That's how it's supposed to be. So to say, who is Dawid? That's almost like nobody know who this dude is. Y'all making all this noise about somebody. I don't know who this dude is. Well, why do he have the right to come to me and ask me for anything? But the Bible already knew who Dawid was. Right. So he got real disrespectful from the door. Watch what he says after that.
Who is Dawid? Who is the son of Jesse? There are many slaves.
See, he even knew that Jesse was his Abba.
Right.
Read on.
There are many slaves nowadays.
He said he was a servant. This dude was destined to be king. Do you understand? If everybody know this man's supposed to be king, and he just called him a servant, ooh, what a disrespect. That's why Dawid got so hot. Read on, please. What did he say?
There are many slaves nowadays who run away from their masters.
Whoa. Didn't he question what he should do with his bread? What did he say?
Should I then take my bread and my water and give my meat?
What we call money. So should I take my money and give it to this brother? Why? No, I ain't doing it. He said, should I take my bread and my water and my flesh that I have killed for my shearers and give it unto men of whom I know not whence they are? I don't know nothing about no Dawid, son of Jesse. He might be a servant, ran away from his master. That was a smack in the blow. That was a blow in the face. At that time, Dawid was destined to be king, but he wasn't in the position of king. You follow me? This is the time when he was on the run, running from Saul. So this man is really being sarcastic. He really throwing blows that he shouldn't be throwing to a man that will massacre his whole household.
Okay.
And don't think twice about it. And being on righteousness for what he did because of the disrespect that he was shown. Men held their names, they took it with a high statue in those days. Today, men don't look. What that boy say, that rapper dude, that's the homosexual rapper dude, say, put some respect on my name. Homosexual wants you to put respect on his name. When a man out here walking in the ways of the Creator, we talk about him like a dog. We disrespect him behind his back. We say all types of things about him to other people. And then when the Most High brings down his retribution upon us for doing evil, people want to feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for you. You don't talk about the Most High's servants to that degree and think ain't nothing going to happen to you. Right. Just like with Dawid. You don't say what you want to say about those who are anointed by the Almighty and then think that it's cool. The brother ain't even got to hear it. He ain't got to know it. The Most High heard it. And the Most High is going to make sure he deals with you for that.
Okay.
So when people come back to me and talking about how this brother said this about me, how this sister said that about me, I say, whoa, man, that's a shame. I just keep it moving. Israel, you should be the same way. As long as you walking in your integrity before the Creator, you should be the same way. It don't matter what people got to say about you because they're going to talk about you. Right. They're going to talk. It don't even matter. If you right with the Almighty, the Most High will fight your battles for you. Read on, please.
Thereupon Dawid's young men retraced their steps, and when they got back, they told him all this. And Dawid said unto his men, grind on your swords. Each gilded on his sword. Dawid too gilded on his sword. About 400 men went up after Dawid, while 200 men remained with the baggage.
Now stop for a minute. Dawid had 600 men with him. He's about his business, man. He's about his business because he left, he was by himself. You know what happened, right?
He gathered men.
No, they came to him. Those people who was downtrodden, the people who was tired of the way things was going, people who wanted to do things better, they came to Dawid and said, we want you to lead us and teach us and guard us and guide us and, direct our steps. And they surrounded him, a military, a small troop. And they were ready to kill for Dawid. That's loyalty. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
What I mean is today we got a lot of brothers we think we cool with, but we not. We don't know nothing about honor. now this is my brother. Shy my brother, right? Shy my brother, and we out chilling, and people making fun of my brother, and I'm just gonna be like, don't talk about my brother, man. It's cool. Don't talk about him. And that's how we get along. No, if you loyal to your brother, and that brother say something negative, you cut him off or cut him down.
Okay.
One or the other. But for you to keep going back and forth around with this brother every day that's talking about your mans, then you got something wrong with you.
Okay.
You need to be checked. For real. That's how Dawid's service got down.
I got you.
You got it.
I got you.
You got
I know what you said.
You got
You just shot a dart
Shot at dog.
in class.
In class.
Say less.
Say less.
That's it.
That's how it's supposed to be.
I'm gonna delete that number.
You don't listen. If you really about it,
Okay.
my wife told me a conversation she had with her sister one day on the telephone. And this sister started coming at her husband. Her husband, my wife's husband. Sister started coming at her husband. My wife said she sat there and listened to the conversation. Sister said everything she had to say. And at the end of the conversation, my wife said a few words, and sis, I gotta go. And ain't talked to the sister since. That's how it's supposed to be.
Absolutely.
Cut them off, delete them, get rid of them. Why? Because once they disrespect what you're loyal to, then they're saying you shouldn't be loyal to that thing because that thing ain't worthy. Dawid's men got down like that. They will cut a man's. If Dawid said cut his head off, that man's head cut off. It's just that simple. Let me show you what I mean. Dawid was walking, and this man walked with Dawid and threw stones at him and spit at him. Before the spit could leave the man's mouth, Dawid's men was already over there ready to cut the man off the sword, cut his head off. And Dawid said, hold up! Don't kill him. It's all right, let him get away with that. Because Dawid had done the man wrong. Dawid was an honorable man. He don't want to see punishment come to somebody that's not worthy. But
Right.
later on, the Most High dealt with that man. You understand? Dawid was about it. I mean, if I had to think of anybody that was more honorable than Dawid in the scripture, it would be almost impossible for me to do so. I can't think of any. He was a man of honor and integrity. He made a few mistakes, but he was about that life. You know, a lot of people say they're about their life, and they really ain't about their life. They're about their life as long as the trouble ain't really coming.
Okay.
And then when that trouble comes, you find out how much about their life they really are.
But do
Yes,
you
sir.
really know a man until you've been through trouble with him? Do you really know?
Yes, if you want to say that, some men you can just tell. Some men they spirit is so strong
Right.
that you know that you know that you know. And if some trouble came, them people will handle trouble and you won't even know it came. That's how real men get down. You won't even know. Y'all be having a conversation one day, you talking about, yo man, what happened to that boy that said such and such to you? And oh man, I ain't seen him. Because he ain't seen him. You ain't seen him either.
Say no more.
That's how it go. But the dudes that gotta be out loud, we getting off the subject, but I'm just wasting a little bit of time with this. Them dudes that out there talking all that loud and acting all bully and walking around like they tough,
They ain't about
them
it.
be the ones.
They ain't about it.
Nah. But the ones that don't argue, don't fight, just keep it quiet, they about their business, them the ones you gotta watch out for.
Okay.
Okay, keep going.
Like Dawid. You see anywhere with Dawid doing a whole lot of rapping? He ain't doing a lot of rapping nowhere.
No, sir.
He keep his mouth shut most of the time and say very little words. That's my man. Read on, please.
One of Nabal's young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, that Dawid had sent messengers from the wilderness.
Now, one of Nabal's men came and told Abigail. Abigail! Abigail is the purpose of this whole lesson. Because through Abigail, I pray that a lot of our sisters are able to see their spirit. I pray. The word Abigail is from the Hebrew word. I left the paper on the table if anybody want to read it. It means Father is joy, or Father's joy. It derives from the root Ab, which means father, and Gil, which means joy. In the Old Testament, this is the name of Nabal's wife, After Nabal's death, she became David's third wife. Some books say second wife. So they're really not sure. Part of the reason why they're really not sure, why some authors may do it differently, is because his first wife was given away. So some people are saying, yes, he still has his first wife, which belonged to him, but some of them are saying, no, he only has two. All right? Michal, remember Michal, Saul's daughter? Saul gave her away? That was his first wife. Okay? As an English name, Abigail's first became common after the Protestant Reform, and it was popular among the Puritans. The biblical Abigail refers to herself as a servant. She refers to herself as a what?
Servant.
First message that I want to display. The biblical Abigail had so much humility that she called herself, she referred to herself, any spiritual leader should refer to himself as a servant. Because in reality, he's a servant of the Most High's people. Any woman that's on a level of virtue and righteousness should consider herself to be a servant.
Okay.
Read on, please.
One of Nabal's young men told Abigail, Nabal's wife, that David had sent messengers from the wilderness to greet their master, and that he had spurned them. But the men, been very friendly to us, were not harmed, nor did we miss anything all the time that we went about with them while they were open.
So the man came to Abigail, the father's joy. You know, every man finds joy in his daughter when she's of a virtuous nature.
Okay.
It's men that don't find joy in their daughters when the man is of a virtuous nature and the daughter is of the streets. Walking around with the shorts all tight up in the crotch and the private parts showing, the shirts all low with the cleavage exposed, walk around with them long eyelashes on their eyes, those long fingernails on their fingers, the weaves in their heads, and out in the partying, meeting men, smoking that stuff, and acting like a person off the street. A righteous man will not find pleasure or virtue in his daughter of that nature. The only time a person will find that acceptable is if that person themselves are out of order. When a person themselves are out of order, they let their women, their children, walk around looking like that. So that shows you, if you look in your house for whole right now, family, if your daughters is walking around like that, something wrong with you to allow and tolerate that type of behavior from a woman who's supposed to be separated from the world. They're not supposed to be into the worldly things. And the worldly thing at this particular time is trying to make yourself look good and attractive according to the world's standards of attraction. Let your standard of attraction be a virtue, a righteousness, a discipline, of respect. You know, fear and obedience to the Almighty. Let that be your symbol to the world to reflect how you are on your insides.
Okay.
But when you watch them videos and you watch them rap shows and you're trying to hang out with the wrong crowd, you take on the habits of the wrong crowd. So your daughters walk around with these long eyelashes all the way out the head. They walk around with these long pointy sharp nails like they're ready to stab you. They wear makeup all over their face and lipsticks all on their face. They hanging out all times of the night, hanging up all times of the night, doing all types of evil things. Smoking that stuff, snorting that stuff, out partying, hanging with the wrong people, using the wrong words. You know when your children are out of course. But if you allow that type of behavior in your household, it's a reflection of the innermost part of you. And what I notice is a lot of people, women, men, they say, well, I used to be like that too when I was the age. Yeah, well, when your child, at the age you are now and you see your child at that level, you're supposed to raise their intelligence so that they surpass you at their age.
Right.
They're not supposed to be like you were at that age because you didn't have the proper guidance.
Okay.
You didn't have that spiritual father in your household. And if you did and he allowed that, he wasn't but so spiritual. Just the facts. Don't be of the world, although you have to be in the world. You understand what I mean?
Okay.
You don't have to act like them, look like them, or be like them, or conduct yourselves like them because you live in the world with them. You are to be of a set-apart nation, of a righteous, divine seed. You know what divine means? Divine means sent from above, sent from the Creator to the earth. And that's who you're supposed to be. And that's what you're supposed to represent at all times. Read on, please. The man is going to Abigail. He's going to Abigail. He's saying all these things to Abigail, and watch what takes place. Read on.
They were a wall about us both by night and by day, all the time that they were with them, tending the flocks. So consider carefully what you should do, for harm threatens our master and all of his household. He is such a nasty fellow that no one can speak to him.
Nobody can speak to him. He's that foolish. But he's saying harm is coming to the household of Nabal. Because in those days, they didn't just have a problem with you, they had a problem with everybody in your house. You know why? Because they didn't want to kill you and then somebody else in your house raise up to come back to kill them later.
Okay.
So they just annihilated everybody. So the man knew that Dawid wasn't nothing to be reckoned with. He knew Dawid was coming. He knew that he had to go talk to the brains of the operation to try to quell the situation. Just because you're a man don't mean you earn the right to be the boss. You have to earn that right through your actions and your deeds of righteousness to determine how that house is going to go. You follow what I'm saying to you?
Okay.
Nabal was actually, we had a dissertation the other day, and the brother was speaking about 3 types of men. He spoke about one man as an Enosh type of man. The other man is an Adam type of man. And the third man is the Ish type of man. The Enosh type of man, you remember what the Enosh type of man was?
Yeah, the guy that let his woman take care of him and
Let his woman run the house,
yeah.
take care of him. The woman is really the boss. He ain't much of a man. He has no respect. She
Right.
don't respect him.
Right.
He ain't handling his business. Overall, the Enosh man was the evil man. Yeah, that's Nabal. But the difference was Nabal had a couple hours, but he still wasn't the head of his house.
Okay.
He doesn't possess the wisdom. And that's a problem. Read on me, please.
Abigail quickly got 200 loaves of bread, 2 jars of wine.
200 loaves of bread, 2 bottles of wine, and 5 sheep ready, dressed, and 5 measures of parched corn, and 100 clusters of raisins, and 200 cakes of figs, and laid them on the asses. Now stop for a second. If somebody made you a plate of food like that tonight, would you want to eat it?
Absolutely.
Most people wouldn't. You know why? Because our minds are so far gone. We're used to this stuff, this poison that they give us in the world today. And that doesn't look attractive to a lot of people. Clusters of grapes, raisins, cakes of figs, raisins, grapes, and laid them on asses. Who wants to eat these things? I would be delighted. Because I'm vegan. See, I eat like that.
Yeah, but it's also 5 sheep, you know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
think a little leg of
You
lamb.
put a little leg of lamb on
Yeah,
there.
you know.
You eat the lamb and leave everything else on the plate.
Don't forget the wine.
Oh, he drank the wine. Okay. Tear the wine up, the lamb and the wine, the 2 most poisonous
see
things on the
sandwiches.
plate.
She had some good bread too.
Yeah, I see some sandwiches.
Some bread. The 2 most poisonous things on the plate. He wanted,
The top 3 things.
yeah, the thing that's going to give him heart disease and all kind of sicknesses and intoxicate his mind so he can't think properly. Those are things he's thinking carnally. Read on, please.
And she told her young men, "Go ahead of me, and I will follow you." But she did not tell her husband Nabal. She was riding on an ass and going down a trail on the hill when Dawid and his men appeared, coming down toward her, and
Now
she
watch
met them.
this. Now I need to paint the scene. She riding on her ass, riding, right? Dawid and his men appear. Watch what she does. Wisdom. This, see, you can't fake this. It has to come from within. The average woman would have said, well, husband, let's stock up. Let's go get some mercenaries or something to come and help the house so we can fight this situation. Let's prepare for this. Or go get the Uzis or the guns from underneath of the bed. Load them up, clip them up. Let's get ready to fight Dawid and his men. Go pull out all the swords and arm all the help. She didn't do that. She knew who Dawid was, just like her husband did. And if he's the Most High anointed, how are you going to fight against the Most High's anointed?
Cain.
Read on, please, and let's see what's happening.
Now that we have been saying it was all for nothing, that I protected all fellow possessions in the wilderness, and that nothing he owed is missing. He has paid me back evil for good. May the Elohim do thus and more this day. I know now that you will become a king, and that your kingship over Israel will remain in your hands. So,
What did you do? Skip something, man?
where would I go? No, I started
Start
it.
at 21, please.
Okay. Now that we have been saying it was all for nothing that I protected the fellow's possessions in the wilderness, and that nothing he owed is missing. He paid me back evil for good. May the Elohim do thus and more this day. I know now that you will become king, and your kingship over Israel will remain in your hands. So swear to me by the Elohim.
Stop for a second. My book in 22 says, and Elohim do so unto the enemies of Dawid, and more also, if I leave of all that pertain to him by the morning light. So that meant Dawid was ready to go in and massacre everything. Why? Simply because he showed disrespect.
Right, that, exactly.
You see how far a man will go for his respect? He showed disrespect to Dawid. So all those men who speak bad about your homie, about your wife, about your husband, somebody you hold dear to you, you gonna massacre them? So if you ain't gonna massacre them, what's the next best thing?
Cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
Separate yourself. They will start respecting you then. And especially they finally get you, meet them on the street and you say, yo man, I tried to call your number, but my number was blocked from your phone. Why is that? You say, yo, you spoke bad about my wife. You spoke bad about my husband. You spoke bad about my homie. That's my blood, man. That's my man. And we don't rock like that. We are honorable men. We don't get down like that.
Okay.
But if you tolerate it, then you just they look at you and you look at the wind.
Get along, gang. I got you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Get along, gang.
Eno Schmang.
This is right here.
He knows, man.
No, seriously.
I feel you.
We have to start to stand up. I remember one time a brother made a post. We had a conference call one time, not too long ago, about a situation that we had going on in Goshen. And one of the brothers got on the phone, and we had about good 30, 40, maybe 50 people on the phone. And this brother got up on the phone and started speaking bad about me. And one of my sons was on the phone, laid him out. Laid him out! That's how it was supposed to be done. I didn't have to say anything. I didn't have to defend myself because most of the time I don't defend myself. I let people say and feel and believe as they want to say, feel, and believe. And I just do what I got to do and keep on doing what I'm doing because I have that kind of confidence in me. I don't allow people to shake my boat because I know the way my boat float down the ocean. I know the way it floats. So one of my sons jumped on the phone and laid his brother out. I ain't heard nothing else from the brother the rest of the night. You see, when you set a foundation of righteousness, you don't have to fight your battles. Like Dawid didn't have to fight his battles. Someone would have raised their hand against Dawid. He got 600 men that would have died for him to fight that battle.
Okay.
That's what loyalty is all about. That's what honor is all about. Something that has been lost in the sight of our men today. Well, loyalty, honor, trust, love, and respect. It's been lost. And brothers, we can share that from one brother to another. Brothers can get down like that. Shabbat Shalom, Aisha. Shabbat Shalom, Malachi. Shabbat Shalom, Razia. Shabbat Shalom, Tar, Shar Takaya. Shabbat Shalom, Shaka. Shabbat Shalom, Telejess. May the Most High be with you all. Read on that.
I'm going to start at 22. So swear to me by the Elohim that you will not destroy my
You're
descendants.
starting at 22?
Yes.
That's not it.
He said my book is going to read different. It's probably reading
it's a
different.
whole different verse.
You're on a whole different.
Yeah.
Let me see, because mine is Samuel 25, chapter 22. And it starts off, so swear to me
Go down to chapter 20, verse 20.
Go to 20.
Verse 20, yeah, what it says.
Okay. Going back to 20. She was riding on an ass, and that's what I said. That's my book reads there. I don't know.
She was riding on her ass. Okay.
That's where 20 starts, when she was coming down the hill, and she met that weed.
Go to 21.
Okay. 21. Now Dawid had been saying, "It is all for nothing that I protected the fellow's possessions in the wilderness, and that nothing he owed is missing. He has paid me back evil for good. My Elohim does thus and more this day. I know now that you will become king, and that your kingship over Israel will remain in your hands. So swear to me by the Elohim that you will not destroy my descendants or wipe out my name from my father's house." Dawid swore to Saul. Saul went home.
This ain't it.
My book ain't saying none of that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know.
Shai, you mind reading?
We
Or
we
give me your book or something?
I'm on the phone. I'm on
Okay, start at 22.
22. Elohim do so unto the enemies of Dawid, and more also, if I leave all that pertain to him by morning light, so much as one male. Did I read that right?
Keep reading, please.
Okay. And when Abigail saw Dawid, she made haste and enlightened from her ass.
So now, Abigail, she saw Dawid.
Mm-hmm.
When it says she made haste, she hurried up.
Right. Yeah.
Now, Abigail is the model of humility, of submission. This is the whole reason why we're reading this today, is because of Abigail and her spirit. Watch what she does. She sees a man worthy of respect, a man worthy of honor, a man that she's never met before, more than likely. But watch what she does and how she greets this man when she meets him. Read on, please.
And fell before Dawid
She fell before Dawid.
on her
Picture
face.
had her husband standing before the wife, and she fell before her husband and kissed his feet. And people today say they had a big uproar that ain't nothing like this foolishness going on today in Israel.
I'm just a reader here, but okay. And bowed down to the ground. 24.
And she bowed down to the ground. Sister asked earlier, should a woman treat the man in the reverence and the way in which she does to the Creator?
Okay.
That was a legitimate question. Did Abigail do that to Dawid?
Okay.
When she met Dawid along the way, did she bow down to the ground
Okay.
and prostrate herself at Dawid's feet?
Okay.
Read on, please.
Okay.
Did you have a comment?
No, I want to read 24. I'm in reading mode, but I'm going to
Go
say
ahead.
something. And she fell at his feet and said, "Upon me, my Lord."
Where'd she fall at?
Upon his feet.
Upon
She
his
fell
feet.
where?
Upon his feet.
She fell upon his feet. What am I saying? Why did I pull it? I pulled it because Abigail possesses that spirit. Now, if she would do this for a man that she just met, what more would she do for a righteous husband? It ain't that he got to require that. That we didn't require that of her. She did it of her own volition, of her own free will. That was a way of showing humility.
Okay.
You want to say
I
something?
want to read this and then I want to say what I want to say.
No problem.
Okay.
It was a way of her showing
No, I totally understand what you're saying.
humility.
I just want to get, my thoughts out real quick. And she fell at his feet and said, "Upon me, my Lord, upon me be the iniquity, and let my handmaid."
Where's she at while she's saying all these things?
Still on the ground.
On the ground at his feet. Begging for her life, the life of her family, and the life of a foolish husband.
Yes. I pray thee, speak in thine ears, and hear thou the words of thy handmaid. Now on 24, she's copping a plea because she know this man is coming to kill her husband, and everybody.
I just said that.
I know what you're saying.
She begging
But
for
she's begging, in this context, she's showing the utmost respect for soon-to-be King David.
That's
and
right.
knowing that she knows in her righteousness that this man has the Creator on his side,
That's right.
Right.
right?
That's right.
So, and she's copping pleas
So every
because
woman should know the same thing about her husband. That he has the Most High on his side because of the way her husband conducts himself.
But-
So she shouldn't have any problem showing the same type of humility to her husband. But go ahead. But you got something you want to say.
no, I understand, but in this context, I totally agree. I agree, but I also say in the way this is happening, she's also showing the utmost respect because she doesn't want to get not murdered but killed. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but she even in showing that type of respect, she has a reason why she's showing it to that level.
Oh man. Okay.
And the reason why she's showing it to that level is because she recognizes who she's standing before.
Right.
Most women today don't recognize who they stand before, or if they do recognize who they stand before, the one they stand before don't give them a reason to be of a righteous submissive level, because he trash. Now, if he ain't trash and he doing his job 30%, 90% of the way, he ain't got to be whole and complete. But he handling his business, then that should be the type of attitude that you have as a wife.
Got you.
Read all that.
Let not my Lord, I pray thee, regard this base fellow. I guess you mean the disrespect.
Yeah.
Okay. Even Nabal, for as his name is, so is he. Nabal is his name, and churlishness is with him. But I thy handmaid saw not the young men of my Lord, whom thou did send. Okay.
Now, is there any questions so far?
No, but
Okay, go ahead. Say what you want to say.
no, I'm just saying that I'm picturing this in my mind, and I just say her prostrating and her on the ground and everything. It's like, yo, she knows she got the swords on her neck, and she's trying to say anything and do anything for her husband not to be killed because the dude was rapping crazy. Excuse me for talking Philly talk, but it's about to go down, and she's definitely trying to stop this from happening.
Okay.
Right.
So you think she's doing this because of her life is at jeopardy? You think if her natural nature, she wouldn't do anything like this?
I don't. Maybe I don't know. But what I'm seeing, what I'm feeling in my heart is 50% respect for the soon-to-be King David, and the other 50% is I'm not trying to get other people that didn't have anything to do with this dude rapping crazy is going to get murdered, killed right now.
Turn with me to 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, verse 30.
Okay. So I don't.
We're going to go to some other examples, and let me see you break those down.
No, I'm rapping.
That's cool. Do your thing, man.
2 Kings. What is it?
2 Kings, 4th chapter, verse 30. Well, go to 32. What's happening, family, is Elisha is about to bring, he's already brought back to life, or about to bring back to life, a child that has passed away. Elisha's going to go through the process and bring that child back to life. Again, a man of the Creator showing that the Most High is with him. And the way that this child's mother greets Elisha shows that she has that proper spirit
Got you.
that I'm trying to get across to
I
our
understand.
sisters and the listening audience in how you are to show that type of respect to a man of the Creator and to your husband. Read on, please.
Okay. And when Elisha was coming to the house, I don't know why it reads like this. Behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed. He went in therefore and shut the door upon them twain and prayed unto Jehovah. And he went up and laid upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth and his eyes upon his eyes and his hands upon his hands, and he stretched himself upon him, and the flesh of the child waxed warm. Then he returned and walked in the house once to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed 7 times, and the child opened his eyes. And he called Gehazi and said, call the Shunammite. So he called her, and when she came unto him, he said, take up thy son.
Now watch what the woman does.
And when she went in and fell at his feet and bowed down to the ground, and she took up her son and went out.
Now what did she do?
You show respect.
She showed the highest form of respect. Every woman
Got you.
should show this, be willing, not that it's required, but she must possess within her the spirit to be willing to show the highest form of respect to her husband. And a lot of women today don't have that spirit.
Agree with you 100%. Because in any instance, be it your child was just saved, or you're trying to save your life, plenty women that I know, Israelite or otherwise, wouldn't do none of this. They'd be like, yo, go ahead, shoot your shot, or whatever they would say. They would ride it all the way to the hill and wouldn't be thankful or honorable or anything.
That's
because
right.
what's the word haughty, right? Is that it? Yeah, that's just what the spirit they have in them. Or, like you said before, we got 400 years plus another 1,500 or whatever else back to 78 AD and before that. We have all that animosity, haughtiness, and hard-headedness in our spirit for years. Do you understand what I'm saying?
What we're trying to do is remove that from our people.
Got you.
That's why we have this lesson. So a sister will know how she is supposed to conduct herself.
Right.
So when she begins to strive for righteousness in the sight of the Creator, that spirit can come upon her.
Got you. And that spirit is needed because it may save your life.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Not only
And
will
it
it-
go
Your
ahead.
life, it could save your family. I mean, it could save a whole nation's life.
That's my point.
Boom.
That is the type of spirit. See, this is what we don't understand. A nation cannot rise higher than its greatest woman. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Your teacher.
If the women is not right,
Mm-hmm.
the men can only take us but so far. Collectively, we rise as a people. Collectively. If the man is on a level of righteousness and his woman is way off course, he got to get rid of her. Because if he don't, every evil action she do, he will be held accountable for in the eyes of the Creator.
Okay.
Oh, so you saying if, just hypothetically speaking, we're not pointing no fingers and saying anything else. You got a brother, he's at class, but your wife, your Esau, or whoever is at Target buying hampers
That's evil.
for the house.
The
And
Right.
brother gonna pay for that.
even if he was at Hebrew class
gonna pay for that.
and your wife stepped out and went to Target around the
You will
corner.
have to-
She should be with you.
Cause you
She's
supposed
right
to
there
you
with
supposed to leave, bro. You the covering. So if you in class, you gotta be in class with you.
So she's buying hampers. You
That's
buying.
as bad as you buying him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's violating, first of all, she's violating the Shabbat.
Right.
She's violating the Most High. I mean, she's not even supposed to be doing that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
And then if he doesn't have her in order for her not to do that,
It's like you ain't even
she
got one.
shouldn't be there.
That's what I'm saying. Like if you the covering, how she a target and you a
And as
Shabbat?
long as you married to her, as long as he's married to her,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just said you, but
well, I meant you because you brought it up.
yeah.
But as long as he's married to her, he's in violation.
Right.
He's going to pay a price. Sometimes, man, we be wondering why we suffering the way we doing. We doing everything right, but we not doing everything right.
Go somebody in the back door and you on the other thing, right?
Either your children, anybody in your household.
Yeah.
Everybody under your roof has to be doing right. If you got a visitor living in your house,
Mm-hmm.
and that visitor is out of order,
Mm-hmm.
the Most High going to bring that down on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to understand that. You got to be right. If you say the Shabbat starts at 8 o'clock, you see the sun going down, no matter what they think,
Mm-hmm.
7:30 they should be in this house at the latest.
Got you. Got you.
And don't even think about going to work
On the
next day
Shabbat.
on Shabbat.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even think about it.
Or just don't come.
That's right. In your house, if those things are going down,
Mhm.
you will be held accountable.
Okay.
And the Most High will deal with you. I promise you. So a lot of people be wondering why I'm doing it. I think I'm doing everything I could possibly do, but yet it don't seem like the Most High is giving me what I'm requesting of Him. A lot of times it is because somebody else in your team is out of order.
Yeah.
You gotta get the evil from where? From the midst of them.
Yeah.
That's right. You gotta get them. If you got that little struggle y'all got going on, if there's no harmony, what's the purpose? If somebody ain't gonna change their ways after you done gave them every effort to straighten up, why they still there? What's the purpose?
Gotcha.
You bringing all that sin upon yourself because you the head of the house. Let's go take a travel real quick to the book of Ruth. I'm gonna start in Ruth, the 2nd chapter. I want to start somewhere around the 5th verse. You can start reading when you're ready.
You reading?
I don't know.
2nd chapter of Ruth.
5th verse. Yeah.
5th verse?
2 and 5. 2 and 5.
You got okay. If my book start reading incorrectly, just let me know.
So you read now?
Yeah.
That strange book? Go
Man,
ahead.
this is JPS tonight.
I don't know what you got. I got a phone. I'm on the phone. We gotta get our
You got
Tanakh
to
meeting
knock
together.
up behind you.
No, I'm gonna read here because I can see this is
Why you
lit.
complaining?
It's lit.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna read mine right quick. The Boaz unto his servant that was set
Now,
over the.
who was Boaz? Boaz was a regular man, a mortal man, right? He wasn't even married to anybody at this particular time.
Okay.
He was just a man. Read on.
Okay, let me read that. Then Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers. Whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers answered him and said, This is a Moabitish damsel that's came back with Naomi out of the field of Moab.
Keep reading.
Okay. And she said, Let me glean, I pray you, and gather after the reapers amongst the sheaves. So she came and have continued even from the morning until now. Save that she tarry a little in the house. And Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither pass from hence, but abide here, fast by my maidens. 9. Let thy eyes be on thy field, that they do reap.
So all this man did was told her, you can glean in my field. Don't go to
Okay.
another field. Stay right here and glean in my field. Watch what she does. Watch
Now
what
what's
she
gleaning?
says.
Who knows what gleaning?
Cut down the stuff so you can
Okay,
eat.
so you can eat.
Read on.
And go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art Arthas?
Are you serious? Come on, you shy.
I can't see.
Thirst.
Pull up just your phone. Pull up to your face.
Got you. Okay, now I see. All right. And thou art athirst. Go unto the vessel and drink of that which thy young men have drawn.
He offered her food. He offered her water.
You
Watch
never
what she
read
says.
my eyes is bad. You gonna read that?
Okay, go ahead. Pick up, please. His eyes are bad.
I'm 50. Come on.
What verse was you on, man?
He
10.
he's out.
10.
All right. And said to her, No, we will return with you to your people. Is it coming out correctly? Say,
Yeah, read that.
Want me to read?
Okay, go ahead. Read it. Let her read it, please.
Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground.
She did what?
She fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground.
One more time. What she do?
Fell on her face
She fell on her face
and
Okay.
bowed herself to the
and
ground.
bowed herself to the ground. See, our sisters in the ancient days, they possessed a spirit of submission and humility that a lot of our sisters today don't possess. He didn't didn't do nothing to her, but said, go ahead, you can eat that and you can drink this. And she was so grateful and so thankful that she bowed herself to his feet on the ground. She said, thank you. Was that hard? Was that difficult? It didn't even seem like it was out of place. You probably read that 1,000 times and just read right over it because it didn't seem like no hiccup in the chapter. Because that's the type of spirit that our forefathers possessed. It was normal. He didn't say, hey, what you doing? Get up off that ground. It was normal behavior, normal practice because we were a humble people. Today we're so arrogant and so haughty that we ain't trying to do nothing like that. We're not trying to show that type of respect toward a man. It don't happen today. And if it does happen, it rarely happens.
And it's crazy because I've seen a lot of comments from men talking about they'll never let their woman bow down to
Exactly.
them because he bows to the Creator. But most people, if you notice, when they praying, they don't even bow to the Creator. They stand there.
They stand up.
Half the
sit
time
down.
they don't even stand with reverence. They just standing there like it's just a normal thing to just go before the Creator.
That's right.
And they don't show no respect. But they don't even bow, get on their knees, and pray to the Creator in a
Put their
humble
face
manner.
in
That's what I said. I prostrate
You
when
know,
I pray.
they don't even
My face
humble
hit that
themselves
ground.
before the Creator. So why would they
The man-
expect
See,
or think that their woman is, because they don't even show the Creator that respect. They don't even have the humbleness. Because and a lot of it is this times, but a lot of it is because they don't even read and get the essence from what they're reading and allow that essence to fill them up.
That's
They
absolutely
too
right.
worldly, and it's the men and the women. But if the man don't teach their woman, like, listen, it's okay to bow to me because it's about respect. But if a lot of times a woman is not going to respect the man either if she don't even see him humbly go before the Creator.
That's right.
I got one for you.
Oh,
My
oh,
bad.
oh, okay, go ahead, speak. I'll wait.
Okay. What these examples that you showed or we read are all women that were proactive with their vow, right? The example that you were speaking of before, even when you showed the picture on the post, was a woman that seemed like she was proactive with her vow. She took the initiative to do that. Now, the conversation came where, hey, if you asked your woman to bow, would she?
No, the conversation was, do you possess this type of spirit?
Right.
Oh no, does the woman have the spirit
Yes.
to do it without even being provoked?
Yes.
Like, well, I'm gonna kiss this brother's feet,
Yes.
or I'm gonna prostrate myself down and be humble. You
But she
understand?
is being provoked. Because, I mean, most people are going to show respect to anyone who is giving them something or who is taking care of them. You know, it's the same way you would do with your parents.
Okay.
Like, it's like you. the same way you
Right.
do
No,
with-
but this is another thing that I did before, out of just my body language, and I noticed I seen the brother from New York, Brother Nat, he said in one of his teachings, he was like, yo, when you talking to your parents, like, get down on their level. It's like, I don't even feel comfortable talking to my mom. I'm standing in
Right.
the doorway,
Yeah.
or I'm standing over her.
Right.
Like, she's sitting down, I'll
Sit
come
down.
sit down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? She's standing up, I'm still sitting down. I'm not gonna be standing over my mom like, yo, what you want?
Yeah.
Right.
No, let me get down. What's going on? Talk to me. You feel what I'm saying? Out of respect. And he showed me that. Now I'm super mindful, because I've raised boys, men. They're not my sons, but I treat them. They stand up. Yo, what you say? I ain't hear what you. Like, I'm like, yo, this 6'3" dude standing over top of me saying, I'm like, yo, you gotta sit down with me. Let's talk about it. You know what I'm saying? But we
No,
don't
they're
have
supposed
that.
to sit down below you.
Yeah, or sit down, but you're still taller than me. You feel what I'm saying? I'm 6 foot, you 6'3". I done fed you all my life. You standing there, yo man, what you say? What you want?
It's just honor.
It's just honor. So even in our with our children and their mother or their father, or whatever, keep it low. Have the body language of respect.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Even if you're talking to your wife is talking to the husband or vice versa, whatever, have some respect. Don't be all over top of the person. You feel what I'm saying? So I know I went off on a tangent, but yes, the woman needs to show some humility. You know what I'm saying? Get your hand off your hips. What's the head movement for? Just stop, slow that down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know a woman that don't move their head when they talking to me.
And
You know what I'm
again,
saying?
just
Or
for
using their
record-
hand.
Just for the record, it's not about her kissing his feet.
Yeah.
It's about her possessing the spirit.
The
The
humility.
proper submission spirit. Because a lot of people think that submission is one thing, and that's almost like the edge of submission.
Right.
Submission is a whole lot deeper. You know, a woman is supposed to serve her husband. And a lot of people, if you call them a servant, they got a problem with it. Oh, I ain't nobody's slave. I ain't nobody's servant. Not me. Not in the year 2020. But the white man tell you to come to work.
Right.
What are you then? You're his slave.
Yeah.
In reality, you're his slave. Because that's what it is. But you're haughty and arrogant when it comes to you submitting yourself. I'm my husband's slave.
I got one more, and this is women should do this. You talking to your husband, I admire you. You know the way you talk to your husband or whatever. Because I noticed when I was at the house with y'all, I was like, oh man, this is what's up. But listen, women, for example, women in my life, let the phone ring and it's the man, the white man. Oh yeah, hey, yeah, I'll get that right out to you. Yeah, you hang up the phone. Yeah, what was you saying? Like the whole voice change. You can't. Our women have a voice for their husbands or their significant other, and then when the white man call, you talking to them like they the dude putting the food on the table. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's that. So even to break it down, I know you went all the way to the nth with the the feet or whatever, but just how you approach them, how you talk.
That's
So
right.
you like use some love language.
That's
It
right.
ain't always gotta be like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, what's up in your husband? This dude that built a house for you.
Right.
Yeah, what's up the dude that when when AT&T call or whoever, you paying yeah, what's up now? Don't what's up your husband.
That's right.
That, it can start with that. You know what I'm saying? If they learn anything today, give your husband or your wife or whoever, y'all, everybody respect each other in a relationship. You know what I mean? Use the proper tone. Be in a proper, position when you're talking to them.
You gotta know how to talk.
Get your hand off your hips and straighten that neck up a little bit.
That's
So we
right.
can.
You gotta know how to talk.
All right, but it's your floor. I apologize, but
Ain't
that's,
my floor.
no.
This is about the creator's business. It's his floor.
Yes, the creator.
Creator business.
All right, but that's it. That's
There's
all I
another
have.
sister I want to read about. In Genesis, the 18th chapter. And we're going to start at verse 10, I believe it is. But I want to lay the foundation for this. A lot of sisters don't understand this, and I'm about to drop something that I know is going to cause a lot of controversy to a lot of people. But I got to say it because it's the truth. It's a fact. Your husband is your God, if you understand what I'm saying. You have to reverence him as such. Do you understand what I'm saying to you, family? A lot of people are going to call and say, well, Prince, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't got but one God, because they relate the creator to God in that instance. But even if they do, your husband is your God. What do I mean by that? The creator has set your husband to the place where your desires are to be to please him. The creator never tells a woman to please me. This is where your desire is supposed to be. He never says that. He does specifically tells the woman that your desires are to be toward your husband. But he tells the man's desire is supposed to be toward him. Now I know that that's going to cause a lot of controversy with a lot of people. A lot of people ain't going to understand it. A lot of people will have problems. Some people might even run. Some people might drop their friendship. They can do whatever they want. But one day they're going to face this reality. Our sisters in the ancient days called their husbands Lord. Lord!
Right.
A term that you have reference for the Creator. You don't call him Yod-Heh, Wah-Heh, but Adoni, that's what you call the Almighty. My Lord, that's what you call the Almighty. But the women called their husbands Adoni.
Okay.
Sisters, can you see yourself calling your husband by that title today? That's the lower level of submission.
One of my best friends does.
That's their lower level. That's right, I don't need. Lower level of submission. Women can't see themselves doing what women of ancient days used to do, but yet they want a man with an ancient spirit. That wouldn't work. It couldn't exist. Because that man is going to be requiring certain things that your spirit is not going to allow you to do. Start, please, in Genesis chapter 18, verse 10.
And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it in the tent door, which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women. Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
Who?
Her Lord.
What she call him?
Her Lord.
My Lord. And you can find places and references to this all throughout the Tanakh, where women will call their husband my Lord. All throughout the Tanakh. And when we were reading the story of Ruth, in second chapter of Ruth, the 13th verse, she says, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, Adoni. Ruth is another example of a woman walking with a contrite spirit, a spirit of humility, a spirit of submission. We sisters, y'all sisters, have to learn how to become submissive. You're not going to learn it by dealing with the average Israelite man, because he doesn't have it in him to teach you. You have to deal with a superior Israelite man, a man that's on a higher spiritual level, and he will teach you the proper ways of our forefathers in righteousness, in submission, and in truth.
And another way is surrounding themselves with other women
That's
who
right.
are walking in that manner, and then also going back and reading about women of ancient times. Because a lot of times, if you want to possess a certain spirit, it's kind of like the common saying, birds of a feather flock together. So if you surrounding yourself with women that are haughty, walk in the manner of harlotry, then most times out of nine, you're going to take on those behaviors. Even if you don't become full-fledged that, your character will start to change and reflect that until you become that.
That's
But
right.
then when you take yourself away from that, you surround yourself with women who are
Virtuous.
and who are speaking in the tongue and giving that same essence as those women in our ancient times, then that's where you become. It's like you become kind of like you are what you eat.
That's
You
right.
are what you ingest into your system.
That's right, 100% correct. So we got a lot of work to do, family.
Yeah.
We got a lot of work. So tell me what y'all thoughts are. Let's share.
Well, I think two things that I would like to see happen more, and part of it's me. I've had a few sisters come to me and ask, can we start a class, like weekly, where outside of Shabbat, where we just talk as women so they can learn, and because I know it's my fault on why it hasn't started on my end, because I just have a lot going on. I haven't scheduled myself to do it. But still, those sisters reach out to me, and when they reach out to me, I do my best to reach back out to them. But I think it's very important, it's imperative that we establish those times. You know what I mean? Outside of conference calls and prayer lines, but dedicated times when we say, okay, this is going to be a 2-hour class on submission today, or womanry, kind of like husbandry, and the same as the men. And then we start to have, like, one of my best friends, Lady K, she has what she calls, her husband has warriors under him who he trains up to become virtuous men. And then she has what she calls, proteges under her. And she's been calling me for the last year. Like, sis, I want to give you some proteges. You need some proteges. You need help. And it took a lot of, I meditated on it, because it's a lot to be responsible for helping a woman come into herself, or even a man come into himself. That's like you almost raising up your children. So if you're not ready, then you're gonna, you know what I mean, you will lead somebody wrong. So now I'm in the process of gaining a protege because I just kept, I meditated on it, I talked to Maisha about it, we kept communicating. And it's important though, because they're women, just talking to these sisters, they're lost, they're confused, they've been abused mentally, physically, sexually, emotionally, and there's so much of us that have gone through the same thing, but we have elevated either just gaining our relationship with the Creator, or we've attached ourselves to a man that is on that level where his elevation is with the Creator. And it's so many sisters that need that guidance, and so many brothers that need that guidance, so that we can start to eliminate these conversations and actually have more productive conversations about, okay, yeah, so we've teamed up, we got like 5 marriages because these young women and men, and when I say young, I'm not talking about teenagers. We have 30-year-old women, 30-year-old men, or it says it was interrupted. Okay, it's back on. 30-year-old men, 30-year-old women, who still need guidance.
Yes.
People think it's an age thing, but you're never too young or never too old in age to learn and to become better in yourself. I'm 42, and it took me a long time to clearly understand my mission in life. And it took me just kind of like bringing myself back and going to the Creator first and foremost and asking him to lead me without no hesitation, and then believing that the Creator had me completely. So it's like I would like, to see that developed. And I know I'm going to do my part, because just speaking to women just in the last 2 weeks, so many women are either trying to run away from this way of life because men are just running through them, treating them like harlots. One day they married, the next day they not. Or they're staying in this way of life, but they're attaching themselves to the wrong type of people. Because they're searching. And if we who feel like we're in a place where we can help, then, it's our duty, it's our job to help. And we have to be helping in a humble manner, so that it's not like, I got this, because I don't have it all. But I know, like, there's certain things that I can give to a young sister, or a sister even older than me, that may need some advice, and she hasn't gotten there yet. But I've been through something. I'm like, okay, this is what I did. Now, but that's basically what I
Very good.
got from it.
Anyone else?
What I noticed, or what I today, just going into the Tanakh again, reading in the Torah, I see little gems. So when you were saying what you were saying about women being humble and men being righteous, even when you were saying about brothers speaking on other brothers, all the things we need, and I hate to sound like cliche-ish, but it's real, is right here in the book. Just read it. Open your mind, read it, and the women will find out how they're supposed to move, and the men will find out how they're supposed to move. And if you have a problem, run it by a brother that you feel as though has some information. You feel what I'm saying? And y'all collab on that. And it don't have to be on the Shabbat. That's another thing we don't do.
Yeah.
One day a week, we touch base. All week long, everybody's in my hand. You understand what I'm saying? And then by then, you'll have, if you walk this way all week and go in your scriptures and see how you're supposed to move, then by the Shabbat, you'll have everything under control. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe, I can read some scriptures during the week, so I ain't bum fumbling through names.
Right.
Or whatever, or get some reading glasses. Not wait until the Shabbat, then read. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So everybody, this is a lesson. If you don't know, go in your book during the week. You feel what I'm saying? If you want to know how to be a righteous woman, see how the righteous women did it, how they treated their men. Men, if you want to see how you want to be a righteous man when it comes to dealing with other men, Look at how the righteous men did in the scriptures, and then we'll go from there, and then we'll revisit this next week and see what we learned. I'm not talking about these people in the room right now. It's the people listening to it on the thing. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you'll have a different understanding, and we'll do it over and over, and then we'll build on this. But right now, we gotta build, because I've been in this 27 years this year, and it just seemed like every year we're starting fresh. We haven't built on things. It seemed like I said last week, we're regressing. I've had conversations 27 years ago. We talked about, can you eat seedless watermelon, right? We got that under control. Now we're talking about, is JC the creator? Like we done went all the way back.
Right.
Like we on dumb. We just on dumb stuff. You feel what I'm saying? It seems like more knowledge is out, the worse we get, because it's being unchecked. We don't have brothers, few brothers like Prince Kez that's teaching, but we got a lot of people out here with just information. They just making stuff up. You feel what I'm saying? Well, we don't know when the Shabbat start. You've been doing the Shabbat since time, and now the this year we forget, or a couple years we forget when the Shabbat starts. Right. Come on, man. So that's it. That's the end of my rant. Getting your Torah, getting your Tanakh, getting your scriptures, and get on board all week.
Cool. Sister asks us a question in the room. Wanna read it?
Antonia says, Shalom
Shabbat shalom,
says,
Antonio.
she says, is it righteous for a first wife to oppose for a man to have a second Isha?
You shy? What you think?
She can oppose it,
Yeah.
right? Because for one, the Ishar might know what the finances look like. This on that scale. The Ishar might know what your fortitude is, what your mental makeup is. Maybe you might collapse the whole foundation grabbing another wife at this time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Maybe you could say, hey, but if you got in this thinking that your man wasn't going to get another wife in any time, you were sadly mistaken. But I understand. A lot of times the women know better. Be like, hey, bro, we in a pandemic. This might not be the best time to get that second wife. You feel what I'm saying? I need brakes on the car. You feel what I'm saying? The roof is leaking. You feel what I'm saying? The steps on the back porch are cracking. You want a wife, or you need one right now. You understand what I'm saying? But I'm not a woman. I don't know, but I'm just saying. Sometimes the women know financially, mentally, and just physically. Right now, we ain't ready to add nobody to this bowl of soup. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Am I wrong? I mean, what's your opinion?
My response will be slightly different, but pretty much to the same too. The man may be picking a wife for the wrong reasons. But the thing that everyone needs to keep in mind is that those Nashim need to get along.
Yep.
So they have to establish and build a relationship. But if the first wife sees that this second wife is nasty, obnoxious, unruly, and not worthy, she has the ability to say, well, listen, husband, I don't think you should do it. She doesn't have the husband the power to say, no, it's not going to happen.
Right.
But she can make the recommendation. And if that man is wise enough, he will respect that recommendation and he won't move forward. If she's making it for all the right reasons.
Right.
Sometimes women move in a selfish mode. They don't want the man to really have another wife for their own agenda. And if it's that, he has to be wise enough to pick up on that.
That's what I was thinking. So I was thinking that.
And then he moves forward and do what he has to do. But you should allow your wife, the second wife, or the third or fourth wife, should get cleared to the first wife, just to make sure that they're going to be able to work on their relationship. All right? So, Sister Antonia, I pray that suffices your answer. You got it on both sides of the spectrum. Any other questions? Any other comments or anything?
Well, I just kind of wanted to say something on that too. Like, I think people think that when you give a wife option, not an option, but when you allow your wife to have an opinion or to have a voice, I feel like they think that that man isn't strong. But if you look at marriage or anything in a manner of order, like a job, if I got hired today, but there was a woman there who was there for 10 years prior to me, more than likely, I'm gonna go and get advice from her on how to make myself be great at this job, how to enhance my ability so that I can elevate myself in this job. And then also, when you're in an interview process, most jobs nowadays, you're not just interviewed by one person. There's like multiple people that you interview with before you get a position. So it's like people look at this whole, well, I don't want the wife to have nothing to say. But you look at it as an interview process. You're coming into that man and woman's family. Mm-hmm. You're coming into that woman and man's business, because it's all, marriage is a business in so many ways. So if you're not a good candidate, you're not going to fit. Like, where's your resume? Have your references, because all of that's going to be checked. And a lot of times, the first interviewer does the small interview. The second one, she or he, whatever, how it is, goes deeper into the interview process, because they kind of like know what the first person's already looking for, and that first person is dependent on the second person to go deeper and to get more in depth. So a lot of times people look at it as oh no, that first wife, she's just gonna look at it that way. No, if that wife is righteous, that first wife is a righteous being, she's gonna do everything righteously to pick someone to add to her family, to add to her husband's empire, because at the end of the day, that second woman is going to be a wife to her husband, a mother to her children, a confidant to her. And I know me, I'm not trying to pick some ranky-dink, whatever, round-the-way chick because her eyes are big and she's pretty and she just likes my husband for the day or for the moment or for the materialistic things that he has. So, I think we get emotionally, the person coming in gets defensive, but they have to understand that first wife, or even like you said, the second, whoever's been there, they have a defense up, because now they have to open their gate and let you in, and you can't just come in. This is a security protocol here.
That's right, you better be.
I got one more thing to say.
Mm-hmm.
On a whole nother note, and this is just me. Maybe I need to get out more.
Mm-hmm.
But just say I know 150 Israelite men.
Right.
3 of them cats deserve a second wife.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not one of them. Today. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be in place. This ain't, when it's 7 women to 1 man situation right now. You have to be mentally, physically, and financially set to have multiple nashim.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. Don't shoot the messenger. It's just what I see. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you barely making it with what you got right now, I'm talking about even physically.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Can you run around the block real quick? Like, we went on a drive. He was like, yo, man, I'm so proud of you. You did these 3 miles. Like, he was proud of me because I did 3 miles. This dude do 15 miles. You know what I'm saying? So, how about physically, I'm not ready. Mm-hmm. Or physically, these brothers ain't ready. Not to say mentally or financially. You might got some money, but you might not be, the other things might not be right. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So everybody get right. Yeah. Your wife know you, it might not be right. Mm-hmm. So let's do that. Let's men again, because we doing too much. You feel what I'm saying? You want, before you get that German car, make sure you got German finances. Right. Before you get that second wife, make sure you got second wife finances. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Right. You feel me? I know I go off on a tangent and I just sound crazy, but you're causing ruin in the community because we multiplying wives and we ain't got the foundation. Right. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're barely scraping along with your first wife. Right. Don't go grab another wife because now you're going to ruin the whole situation. You feel what I'm saying?
Agreed.
You feel what I'm saying? Because I don't like watery nothing. I don't want nothing watered down. I want the straight Welch's grape juice, You ain't gotta add no water with nothing. I just want my. I know I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm saying that's what happens when you spread yourself too thin.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You get trash. It's undrinkable. It's not. You're not presenting anything to anybody if you water this thing down. So men, look at yourself and have a deep down like, yo, I like the way she look too, brother. But yo, when you're ready, get it. You know what I'm saying? When you're ready, get it. Don't get it when you halfway. Trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
I'm on these streets. You feel what I'm saying? I've been there. You feel what I'm saying? So don't do it because you're gonna cause ruin, and then the woman is gonna hate you. You feel what I'm saying? Then you're gonna have your wife hate you. You feel what I mean? Because you done went and
Destroyed their family.
you done destroyed everything for greed. And I'm not even talking about the man's greed, because sometimes a woman on the side like, yeah, I like the way Prince look, you know what I mean, in that G-Wagon. Did I say the G-Wagon? But I'm just saying, you know, we want to be a part of it, and maybe this season is not the season for you to pick another way. Maybe when you get the, you know, my land cleared, you can go ahead and get you know. Did I throw that in there? See, I throw shots.
That's
too.
what
know
you
I'm
just
saying?
said is a good point.
Yeah, when
I
you
was
get my-
talking to my husband about this back before I was an Israelite. I was in a relationship, and the brother
You look at your
basically, the brother basically.
I'm listening, sis.
I was helping a sister out, watching her children while she go to work. Then I found out they were cheating with each other. And then when I found out, the sister, the woman came to me and was like, well, now you need to leave and all of this is mine. And then I had to break it down and say, actually, the car is mine, the apartment's mine, all this is mine. So now you and him can go and live on the street or whatever. But that's a lot of women, they come in with that mindset, oh, I'm going to go take everything from her.
Yeah.
Why would that be your mentality to come take another woman's stableness, happiness, foundation, and try to rip it from her for you to have it? Go, if you really want that foundation, come and be a sister to her,
Right.
so that y'all can both live on that foundation happily together, and then build upon the foundation, make the foundation stronger.
Yeah.
But you would rather pull the rug from another
Gotcha.
sister
Yeah.
to make yourself good, and then in the end you don't have nothing because you didn't even investigate enough to see if that man had any of it. It was the woman who was the sustainer.
Came in on an unrighteous tip.
Yes,
And left out
wicked.
with nothing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Boom. I didn't mean to put you on the spot, brother. You know, you do a hell of a great righteous job. But, you know, I'm just using you as an example.
There was a question, bro.
Any other questions? Any other
There was a
comments?
question in the group.
Yeah,
She said, "Is it
man.
okay for a woman who doesn't want a polygynous relationship to remain unmarried?"
Who put that in?
Dee Dee,
I didn't see it. That slipped by me.
it's under
Oh,
it's with
yeah.
Antonia's.
Yeah, I
Forgive
see
me,
it.
Dave. What's the question again?
Is it okay for a woman who doesn't want a polygamous relationship to remain unmarried?
It's never okay for a woman to remain unmarried. Never. Every woman must have a covering in the house of Israel. Now that covering should be a husband, but if it's not, it'll be a father, or it could be a spiritual leader, a male, some kind of male should be covering an older brother, but that woman should be covered by some type of spiritual guided man. Every woman should desire to be married. It's just natural. You just have to be real careful about the one you choose to marry. I would not suggest for any woman to remain single because she chooses to be single. I don't think that would be a good move, a smart move on behalf of the woman, especially not in today's times. Yeah, how did that get past me? I don't know.
Because it's been a lot of comments in between.
The first wife, a lot of the times, takes this posture, okay? And she's true. Any other questions or comments? Are there any other questions in the room? Are there any other questions?
No, that's it. All right.
Oh, she said yes. I don't know if she's saying yes. There's more questions. Antonia?
She ain't
Shivanya?
that. Every woman wants a good man. That's correct. And they gotta find a way to get in with that good man when they find a good man. Because every man ain't a good man.
Due diligence.
All right? May the Most High be pleased with our efforts on this day, as we have did what we can do to explain a portion of His law, try to elevate our people to a higher level of spiritual consciousness. Now, before we even started class, I wanted to make this mention. I look around on Facebook and Instagram, and I watch a lot of teachings. But what I've learned is that a lot of people are teaching history, you know, basically history. I don't see too many teachings teaching about the soul, how to purify yourselves to live a righteous life, how to conduct yourself so that you can stop sinning against the laws of the Creator. And these are the type of things that we like to home in on, because we believe in building the whole soul, the whole body, the whole essence, so that people can begin to worship the Most High in the ways that is pleasing and acceptable unto Him. It's one thing to know the history. In the Temple Kippurим, we can dance on the history day and night. Matter of fact, today was almost going to be a history class. We'll probably do it next week, depending on what the Most High brings to us. But we have to begin to have more people teaching us how to live, how to conduct ourselves, you know, how to act and respond in situations that are real in today's time. History is one thing. It's good to know history. Matter of fact, it's something that you must know. But we also have to learn how to deal with these sins and wickedness and evil behavior that we have incorporated in our behavior in today's time. So with that, family, just start to pray more, fast more, search out the Most High more, open up your spirit to His truth. May the Most High be pleased. Shabbat Shalom Aleichem.
Shabbat